All right. Are we? Yeah, I think we
Are
are
we live?
recording. Yeah, we live. Yeah, we are live.
Okay.
Yep. So let's get started. I know we are waiting on Satish Gabar to join. Satya might also join a little later, but we have quite a few games to cover. And again, the order of how we kind of go about is we'll cover the best of Division One, we'll cover best of Division Two, and then move into Division One, where we'll try to cover as many games as possible. Some of those Division One games have been quite close, so we'll try to make sure we spend good amount of time. I'll start off from the bottoms up. We'll go with Local Boys versus MI Rangers. This was a game which was. I'm going to cover it really quickly because MI Rangers, I think it was a clinical uh, show by them. They've been really good this season so far. And Local Boys, I think we've talked about them. Srinivas Alumai is the only guy who can make a difference in their game. And this game, he did contribute almost two-thirds of the runs. He 33 out of the 59 that Local Boys scored. But that wasn't enough. I see on the scorecard here, there were hardly any contributions from the lower and middle order, single digits all the way. I think MI Rangers did a awesome job in bowling as well. Even though they used quite a bit of their bowling, everybody was very economical. And the standout performer has been this year has been Praveen Kumar Reddy. I highlighted him last week. I remember for his batting show. Uh, uh, in the last weekend, and this week too he's performed with the bat and the ball, making sure that they easily chase those 59 runs, and a very easy and comprehensive victory for MI Rangers. All 5 points they chased it in 14.4 overs with no little to no difficulty. So Local Boys definitely not showing that intent or that form which we all expected them after their last season's performance. So, quite disappointing to see them start this season with these losses. But the season is long enough. I'm pretty sure Srinivas has been talking to his boys. Hopefully, they start showing up and showing up some good performances in the weeks to follow. Next game we'll probably go with is the Gujarat Warriors and Vikings. Another one where I think Gujarat Warriors, Vikings being a new team, playing against Gujarat Warriors, who earlier used to be called Rising Stars. So they have quite a bit of experience playing in DCL, and it's good to see them starting to show some wins. They've been struggling in the previous years as well, but this is a better equipped team, better experienced team with the likes of Gopal Patel and Salman Salazarai. I think they have a lot more batting depth and bowling depth, for that matter, which basically has propelled them to quite a few victories this starting this season. Scoring 81 runs, I think, was at par target. I would say something that they would have to bowl really well, and they did. And Vikings, uh, being a new team, are struggling this season with their batting and bowling. And what's not helping is the amount of extras that they've been leaking throughout this. But in this game, I think they were probably more disciplined. Apart from the Sai Krishna Boka innings from Vikings at the top, there wasn't much contribution down the order, and they folded for just about 55 runs in those 21 overs. So Vikings have a long way to go. Another team that is new and going through the rumble of DCL. I'm pretty sure these are great experiences for the team, and will be used. And hopefully things will get better down the season. But again, great performances. I want to highlight Gopal Patel and Salman, both with the bat and the ball. They were amongst the wickets as well. Salman especially contributing 3 wickets for 6 runs in his 5 overs. Stand-up performer for Gujarat Warriors that weekend. Let's go to the next game. We have, and I think this is one which we are going to cover, is the Marvels versus Royal Challengers Detroit. Uh, Viju, I know you. We were preparing to cover this game. I would love to have you start off with your analysis on this one.
Parthiv, this was one of the three games which you assigned to me to take a look at. As far as I am concerned, Marvel's 89 is a very good score, and I was pleasantly surprised with that score. I think, Parthiv, you know this, right? That Parampara, Pratishta,
Yes,
Anushasan, Yahi
Shasha.
Gurukul ka teen, what is
Stambh.
that? Stambh hai, right? I
Yes,
think
right.
Marvels had four stumps, all right? Four Marvels, namely Vijay Mane, Anil, Mohan Rangaraj. Mohan Rangaraj, I don't know if you remember, Parthiv, he used to be originally Knockers, then Rockers. So it's that same Mohan Rangaraj. And
Oh,
the Raja Beta, all right? I want to call him Raja Beta. But those four guys really performed in this game. But in the end, if you ask me, RCD have their own Pratik, Pratik and Girish, who is the man of the match. They also have Raghunath, those three guys. And then they have Shreyas Sridhar, who played actually like Shreyas Iyer with the bat, you know. He
mhm.
performed very well to make sure that the Marvel was taken out of the Marvels. So that's exactly what happened in this game. But 22 wides, Parthiv, by the marvelous
Oh,
Marvels did not help matters. And but I think still, if you ask me, compared to last season to this season, if you ask me, it was still a good show by the Marvels, I felt. But I think for RCD and Ishwar Kesineni, who's leading them, uh, I think they got the job done. And I think this has been a team which has been pleasantly outperforming our expectations, at least. Now,
mm,
I agree that many times when it's a new team, we do not know what to expect. But
yep.
these guys have been doing well. And I think we have been talking privately that RCD has been getting the job done. So congrats, RCD, and hard luck, Marvels. But I think at least there are signs of life for Marvels. So
Yep.
that's the good thing.
Yeah, and we've talked about Royal Challengers Detroit RCB have been like some of the players have been in the mix for DCL quite a bit, like Arjun Chitamani, Iswar, even Pratik Girish has been. I've heard his name before. So they have been playing under the name of Kings 11 before. Some of them, not all of them. So they have a little bit of experience on their side. So even though they are a brand new team from a namesake perspective, they have quite a few players who've been in and around DCL. So,
Yeah, and that Pratik Grish performed with the bat and the ball, you know, so it
oh,
was an
yeah.
all-round performance. So we
Yep.
have to tip our cap to him and say, Pratik, awesome job.
Yep. The next game was quite a bit of a surprise. I think I know you're a fanboy favorite fan. You're a fanboy for Phantoms, and you've been picking them quite a bit along the lines. But this was a one-sided.
I like Phantoms because of Rajesh. I
Yeah.
just feel that he runs that club well and he leads well. So it's only the question is whether he can hold on to the talent. That's the only
Well, you'll be happy to
so
know that Rajesh was a standout performer for Phantoms. He scored a great 32, helped by extras, which was 24, which got them to 73. But there were again the same story as we've talked about in some of the other matches, where there was no contribution. If you see the number of eggs in the scorecard is just astonishing. They've got like five ducks. And so that basically defeats the purpose. The Rajesh's inning towards the end of the innings saved them from a embarrassment, and the extras helped as well. But Thunderbolts made light of the situation. Our fellow analyst, or former analyst Avinash, will be very happy. He carried his bat through the innings with a very patient 23 of 43 balls, and he, along with Gurunath, made sure that the Thunderbolts crossed the line with relative ease. So all in all, a great satisfactory performance for Thunderbolts. I know we've been rooting for them quite a bit as a much improved side. In this game, they actually showed why we've been backing them in our predictions as well.
yeah, I mean, again, this is the Avinash Raghu we were expecting to show up. All right,
Yes.
not the Avinash Raghu from last week. You know, I told you he had a pretty bad performance last week, but this one is the real Avinash Raghu that at least I'm used to. So, and you're used to. So, it was good to see him among the runs. So, but yeah, I think they got the job done very easily, and all those extras did not help Phantoms either, right?
Yeah.
So, but I, you know what? Our friends in Thunderbolts were very generous. They gave 24 extras. So
Yes.
they gave even more extras and still got the job done because only Rajesh showed up. Everybody else did a disappearing act. But good to see Avinash in the runs. Congrats, Avi.
Yep. Next game we're going to move is Stinger versus Royal Hunkars. Another game which I think Stingers, pretty easily just walked over. Royal Hunkars, I would say, credit to them. They got the. I remember last weekend we talked about them. They had got their first victory in DCL, so they were on a high. But Stingers is a difficult team to beat. I mean, they are probably hot favorites to be in the top four of Division Two, if not top it altogether, and they've got a solid batting and bowling unit. And the batting, we have Monty Patel, who basically opens. He's been amongst the runs. He missed out at this time, but you have decent contributions along the way from Karthikeyan, Jagan. You have Nile and Jichin all contributing those 20 odd runs, 11, 14, all contributing. And then you're helped by extras as well. Again, 19 extras, which propelled them to 127. And that I've always mentioned, once you cross that 120 mark, you're probably going to win more than lose. And that was the case here. Even though Stingers probably would be little disappointed with the amount of runs they conceded, uh, 97, at one point of time they would have been a little worried about the chase, but it's towards the end of the innings that it fell apart. The runouts and the great bowling by Nile Patel, I think, helped Stingers to make sure that there was no recovery from Royal Hunkars, because at one point of time Shrikant and Praneeth were on song, and they were kind of going at a pace which would make the Stingers captain worried, because at 16 overs or 15 overs, there was, I see, 64 for 4 or 64 for 5. And, at that time, the game could have gone either way, and another partnership of 20, 30 runs, and, the game would have been on. But it was not to be, I think, courtesy of Nilai toward the end, and then the runouts probably never helps. Those wickets were precious for Royal Hunkars to lose towards the uh, end of the innings. So all in all, another victory for Stingers. They keep moving ahead and keep them firmly on the top of the table. So great win for Stingers. Let's go to the next game, that is SSK versus Spartans. This is another one which is pretty one-sided. Again, SSK, we've talked about them under the new leadership. They've started to sparkle as well. And on the other side, Spartans have completely deteriorated under with losing a lot of players. We counted at least 3 or 4 players that have left Spartans in the last 2 or 3 seasons, and that has really impacted Spartans, and they are no longer the threat, or at least a decent fight, I would say, which they were a couple of years ago when Chanakya and Naeem Khan, it's not Naeem Khan, sorry, I forget his name, but there were some good players who once played for Spartans. But in this case, Spartans, even though they were helped by a lot of extras, SSK again guilty of giving a lot of extras. They did that in the last week too. In this case, 23 wides helped Spartans to reach that 70. Otherwise, uh, they would have been embarrassingly out for around 20s or 30s. And SSK, on the other hand, they batted first. There were contributions down 15s and 20s down the order, helped by a few more extras as well. They were able to post a very competitive score of 108, and then the bowling took over, and that's where the Spartans lost it completely. As you could see here, everybody got wickets. Sai Prakash, Murli Krishna, Lingapan himself, all contributing uh, to the Spartans collapse. So all in all, I think SSK, another team like Stingers, have started really well, and Spartans, on the other hand, like local boys, are going down the other end, losing games after games, and kind of losing the competitiveness which once they had in DCL. So hopefully Spartans and local boys are able to get their season back on track. But for SSK and Stingers, I think things are looking really, really good as we come and approach the mid-season mark sometime next week. Next game, I think it's FCC Agni versus Racha Riders. This is something which we've talked about. This team, this new kids on the block, Racha Riders, have been the talk of the town in DCL. Very new team, and they've started playing in pretty much every league that I've come across. Leather Ball, FCC Cup. I've seen them in the some of the players in the T90 as well. So they're really stepping up, and I'm pretty sure if this team continues to perform the way they have been performing, I will not be surprised in a season or two to see them in the first division as well, because they've been playing really good cricket. And FCC has been a very experienced team. Our friend Ramesh has stitched this team over and over again. He's another one like some of the other teams who has lost players on a regular interval. But here, I think it was a no-show from anyone on the FCC Agni side. Really a dismal performance here. Apart from the 16 extras, there was no one in the single digits, which contributed for them. After playing 20 odd overs, they only managed to score 51 runs. And Racha Riders, even though I would say lost probably a wicket or two more than they would like, especially at the top. Satish, being the chief destroyer, he did give FCC Agni a little bit of hope at the start of the innings, but then Rahul, and then the decent contributions from Guru, Gurish, and Raj, and then extras helped. The 52 runs was never going to be enough for FCC Agni to defend. So Racha Riders, as I said, impressive performance for a new team. They have been able to get a few good wins already in this season. And FCC Agni, another long-term team, finding it hard to be competitive in this division this year. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on FCC Agni, see how they do the rest of the season. But congratulations to Racha Riders.
Yeah,
All right.
Parthiv, I think Riders is really turning our heads, right? I mean,
Correct.
they have 3 wins out of 4 games. So
Yep.
congrats to them.
Absolutely. As I said, this is, if not this season, I'm pretty sure next season I expect them to be really stepping up into Division One, because I've seen some of the players that they are really good. All right, let's go to the next game that I would love to hear from you is the Punjab Derby, the Punjab Lions versus the Punjab Scorpions.
Parthiv, who's the guy who says Punjab on IPL,
Isn't
right?
it Kevin Peterson?
Is it? I mean, a couple of those guys say it. I
Yeah.
mean, anyway, the Punjab Derby, went in favor of the Lions of Punjab, right? I mean, I think Gurdeep has been a very good leader. He has been leading pretty good. All the close games he has been managing to win. And I think that's the hallmarks of a good skipper. Anytime you can win all the close games, that means you must be doing something right with regards to the decision making. Again, I think Gagandeep was fantabulous for the Lions. I mean, he absolutely performed very well in this game. Manpreet Singh, I think, Parthiv, you know this guy. This is the same Mani from over which GLCC and
God.
Megabytes fought tooth and nail, and there was official complaints, and Mani was disqualified because he played, I think, first for GLCC and then for Megabytes, and Megabytes tried to change the name, and I don't know, all kinds of allegations went back and forth, and then there was a game in which he was disqualified and the points was given to the opponent and things like that. Well, it's the same guy. He's back. All right. He didn't perform anything with the bat, but he and Amrit Pal made sure the Lions have the bragging rights in this Punjab Derby. I mean, they performed really good with the ball. So we know Manpreet can perform with the bat as well as with the ball. And I'll have to in the interest of fair disclosure, I must say that my sympathies at least lies with the Scorpions, and you might wonder why. Because I have 3 players who played for Glads in the past: Amanjot, Manjinder Gill, and Shivam, all have played for Glatz. So obviously, all things equal, I probably am always supporting the Scorpions. But be that as it may, I still feel that Shivam, when he shows up, now this is the key.
Yeah.
When he shows up, that's a mystery, Parthiv. I have not been able to solve that mystery when he played for Glatz. Because when we got him, we expected him to be this attack, absolutely lights out bowler.
Hmm.
But I do not know which Shivam will show up on any given day. But when he bowls like how he bowled in this game, he's a lights out bowler who can win you the game single handedly. And in this game, he took that 5 wickets. He's a phenomenon. He's a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal bowler. But I do not know what makes him tick, and I do not know, when he's going to bowl a no ball, and the control issues. All these things can suddenly show up. The next thing you know, the game gets out of hand. But if he's on song, I mean, it's very, very difficult to get off them. But or he can disappear, simply disappear, and he can disappear like how David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. So
Hmm.
I do not know what we are going to get from him at any point of time. But when he performs like this, even this low scoring total is easily defendable. And so I have to give him all the credit for this fantastic job that which they have done with regards to in the
Yeah.
Punjab Derby. At least I think this was a high profile game for these two teams. All right.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
just bragging rights for the rest of the year. So
Correct.
congrats to the Lions for getting this job done.
Absolutely, and I was surprised that with the likes of Manpreet Singh in the team. I mean, obviously Manpreet Singh is no longer the Manpreet Singh of the old that who basically just blasted everybody off the park. But that score of 52, surprisingly, Punjab Scorpions weren't able to reach that. A low scoring thriller, but I would have expected in the Punjab Derby to see a lot of big hits. These guys are famous for taking taking the leather of the ball, or taking the skin out of the ball, and it's surprising to see there weren't any. Probably, I'm just going to go through the scorecard, but there were no sixes in the game, so very, very surprising. I expected this to be a lot of more runs. I expected it to be a high scoring game, or at least a chance for people to show their big hitting skills. But looks like it was dominated by the ball, and even though Shivam extracted those 5 wickets in the end, they fell short of 8 or 9 runs.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next game. The next game was a thriller, the Division Two thriller, Dark Horses versus KECC. Dark Horses have been our, I mean, they have always lived up to their name. I would say, ever since they have been in the DCL circuit, they've always been those guys who have been always right. Most teams would fancy their chances when they see dark horses. They're playing dark horses this weekend, but dark horses, credit to them. They've always shown the fight, and with Pankaj Vats as their leader, he's always been able to get a lot of talent. I remember asking him, like, what is it that makes him place and motivate himself to be at dark horses, because we've tried to get him, to be honest, but he's not able to leave that team. He believes in dark horses being like the the ground for those students coming out of U of M. He lives in Ann Arbor, so he's very close to that school arena. So a lot of these guys who play for dark horses are almost like the 20s and 25-year-olds in between them. So he gets a lot of these new talent in, but somehow he's not able to either retain it, or they're not able to really come to to that level. But in this game, I would say dark horses were rather very, very unlucky. They had the game, they were looking good. They scored 69 runs, which I thought was probably average, and not that great. But the way they started, KCC was looking at in the first few overs, it was looking like dark horses are going to wrap this game up. And then there was a sudden partnership. There was a big partnership between Omkar and Charan, And then eventually they started losing the grip. Abhijit started to wreck their chase, and then eventually towards the end, they were able to cross the line. So it was a fascinating game for a neutral spectator to look at. I mean, if you see the scoreboard, KECC barely crossed the line by 1 wicket, and it must be heartbreaking for Pankaj Watts and the team, to Dark Horses, to lose the game, being so close at the end. Viju, how would you say this game?
All right.
This game.
Yeah, Parthiv, I have something to comment, to give some. There is obviously within us also there is bragging rights. So I was going to comment something about what a friend of mine from Australia commented about you and the Strikers, about the Glad Strikers game. But I'll address that when we get to that game. Remind me in case I forget that. But I
Sure.
got some fan mail, so I need to do some bragging of my own. All right, but I'll get to that. Let me first cover this game. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that Durga Rahul and Abhijit Parola, 4 overs, 9 runs, 3 wickets. Fantastic game. They had good games, but yet Dark Horses lost.
Mm.
Wasn't it the movie Bazigar, Parthiv? I'm not a movie buff, but I believe it is the movie Bazigar. Haar kar jeetne wale ko Bazigar kehte hain.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
think can I borrow that line? I think I will borrow that line. In DCL, haar kar jeetne wale ko Pankaj Watts kehte hain. All right, because Watts and company lose most of the games, but always Watts comes out smelling like gold. All right. I
Right.
mean, everybody has only good things to say. No one can say one bad thing about Watts. And if there is a DCL final, I think all of us are fighting head over heels, trying to get him to somehow umpire the game. And he's a fabulous umpire. And again, you are trying to get him. I did not try to get him because I know I'm not going to succeed in getting him. So I'm not going to waste my effort in it. But yes, he is a fantastic person and a player, and it would be a great addition to any team wherever he decides to play. But I respect him for wanting to stick on with Dark Horses. I would respect him even if he went chasing a championship at one of the high-profile teams. Either ways, I wouldn't find any fault because at some point, the player should also achieve what they really want to achieve in their life. And we can't tell what is right or what is wrong, right? I mean, it's up to the player. But I think for KECC, our player, Omkar Kulkarni, if you ask me, Omkar Kulkarni, he played like last year's version of Omkar Atre. Now, remember, Omkar Atre, I told you last year his strike rate was not as much as this year, but he always seems to get the job done,
Mm-hmm.
Kulkarni was Eagle number 1, Parthav. Karnataka Eagles, right? They're called Karnataka Eagles. So if
Yes.
you ask me, Eagle number 1 was Omkar Kulkarni in this game. And then the three amigos of Pradeep, Snehal, and Akhilesh, they put the kibosh, Parthiv, they put the kibosh on Dark Horses. That's exactly what happened in this game. I think Pradeep and Kalmat had a good game. But at the end of the day, KECC was a little too much for Dark Horses. So let's give credit to KECC, and they're getting this job done with their skipper. I think he went to India, right? And he's still
Yes.
missing in action. So when he comes back, I think KECC just gets even better, and they'll be fighting and contending for one of the top 4, not just the top 4 spots, but probably for the championship itself in Division 2, along with our Stingers friends and Racha Riders and Michigan Rangers and a couple of other teams. I
Yep.
don't see too many options beyond those 6, 7 teams out there.
Yep. That's true. I think KECC has, before the group even started, I think was one of my favorites to go to the top 4. So definitely a team that I will be looking very closely as we come to the mid-season, towards the end of the season. But right now, I think it's SSK, Stingers, Warriors, and Racha Riders who are the top 4. So
All right. So can I do my bragging now before I
yes,
forget?
good,
Otherwise,
good.
I'll forget. All right. This is from your friend and my friend. All right. So it is from a guy who we all admire and we like also. So he is none other than Sandeep Gopu, the Indus Thunder skipper.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to that, I'll have a question as to why he did not play the game, because I heard his name, I heard his voice, and I cannot forget Gopu's voice. He was out there
Yep,
cheering
I
his
saw
team,
him.
and he did not play. Oh, you were there at the ground. I
Yeah,
was
we
not at
were
the
at the
ground.
same.
Even
Yeah,
though I was 10,000 miles away, my ears could pick his voice up. All right. Here is the bragging rights. All right. Hey, Viju, I hope you're doing well. My wife Deepa is so impressed with your commentary on DCL Primetime that she is saying that you should audition to be a commentator at national or international level. Now, Parthiv, you may not like it, but that's what the text says. And then he
nice.
himself says, I am always very impressed too, as well, with your commentary and like you so much. So I have told him, I asked him the permission whether I can mention it, and he said that, sure, go ahead. So thank you, Gopu. I really appreciate it. It made my day. Thank you for doing that. But
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure, like Gopu, there are many others I would say would, share the same feeling. I think, I've always mentioned DCL is DCL because largely part of you, how you maintain that passion and the commitment and made it into not only just the on the field cricket, which is obviously very very the meat of cricket, but off field as well. A lot of people glue in to see what is Viju going to say. So it's a
yeah,
compliment.
I think that those are from the EP poll days, because the
Yes,
EP poll days I got, but I think this is a better forum because we get to interact,
correct.
and
But
sometimes
yeah,
we have no
I
idea
think I like
on
it.
live TV which way that interaction would go.
Right.
But I think there is a healthy respect. But Gopu has already answered the question why he did not play. He had a new injury, and the doctor suggested to rest for a week, so he rested himself for the Legends game. But he will be playing this weekend's game.
Wow.
So whoever was hoping that, maybe Gopu will do a Djokovic and not show up for the next tournament because he got an injury, uh, keep dreaming. It's not happening. That's what Gopu is indirectly saying. All right.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, they've got a great game this weekend. They're playing the United Raptors, which are on a high. Especially, we'll talk about Pradeep Bota and how he's carrying the batting of United Raptors. But it's going to be Bota versus Indus Thunders in the next round in the next weekend game. So,
okay.
all right. So with that, we are done with the Division Two games. We go into Division One, and what a game to start off with: Red Devils versus GLCC. I wish our friend KK was here because I had many, many, many questions for him.
Oh,
Because
Partha, who knows? He might suddenly show up and join the commentary, because
right,
whatever we have to say may not be very flattering of KK, right? And
absolutely.
KK is going to be taken to the task, and that's what we do because, yeah, he might be our primetime fellow analyst and things like that. But when you don't get the job done, well, you'll have to face the music. That's the way it goes. And so I don't care whether you're GLADS or whether you're GLCC. You didn't get the job done. Well, you're going to be at the receiving end of the stick.
But this game, to be honest, I didn't expect it to be a low-scoring thriller because both the teams are, yes, they have pretty decent bowling attacks, but they have good, decent batting attacks as well. So a 45-35 was far from what everybody expected. Yes, everybody expected a close encounter, which it was, but considering the scores, it looks like it bought the ball completely dominated. And from what I have been told, the surface which they played, the Troy ground, the Borden cricket ground which they played, especially that particular field, was probably underprepared or wasn't ideal. There were complaints from both the captains to the committee uh, to look at that ground and see if we can avoid it. I know the grounds are at premium right now with so many tournaments going on nowadays in summer. It's earlier it used to be just DCL, right, with the T-ball tournament, but now there's at least 4 or 5 tournaments which go on right now as I speak. So grounds have become a premium. But every now and then we do come across some surfaces. But I always consider no matter the surface, it's always going to be a challenge, and it's challenge for both teams. So it's not unfair. So if it was a challenging for GLCC, so it was for Red Devils as well. The toss may have played into the Red Devils a little bit because they got to use the surface first up, which always helps. But it was a great bowling effort on both sides. Hitesh Desai from uh, GLCC, he got a hat trick. I wish they have a video which they can send us. But he was, even though he was expensive considering the run scored, he did leak like 19 runs off his 3 overs, but he got them 5 wickets, which got the Red Devils down to 45. But then GLCC, I don't know what they were doing, but the ball wasn't getting off the bat. I mean, everybody is in single digits. Our own Vamsi KK put himself down the order. Another surprising move. And to be honest, when I look at this GLCC card, I truly feel very stranger to it. I mean, I do not see a lot of their players, a lot of influx of new players coming in, taking those places, and some of the old veterans are not showing up or not performing. Like Akash hasn't been in amongst the runs. He's like the guy. If GLCC have to go any far or anywhere, he is the guy that he needs to be amongst the runs and the wickets. And one standout performer I would really, look out for, and I want you to also check his stats, is Devraj Patel. I've heard a lot about this guy with both bat and ball, and people seem to be in complete awe of this guy with the ball, especially. And I've heard great things. Even though I haven't seen him in action, but this is one guy that I've heard around the rumor mills and around the ground. People talk about him. But in this case, I think it was a great defense work from Red Devils. All the four bowlers that they used, Gagan Singh, Navpreet Singh, everybody got wickets and never really allowed GLCC to get off that pressure. They kept on picking wickets, kept on putting that pressure, and eventually, you know, KK and the team folded. So all in all, very disappointed with GLCC. I expected them with that experience they have to get across the line, but Red Devils take the cherry.
Partha, before I get into this Red Devils, or maybe after I get into the Red Devil game, I have some live commentary. Today looks to be bragging day, right? So this set of comments has come in favor of Parthiv Mehta. It comes all the way from Australia. Somebody is watching the show live in Australia, Parthiv. So you should
Wow.
really feel proud of yourself that the reach is not just reaching India, but it's also reaching Australia. And this is why DCL Primetime is the #1 show in the business, right? Because we reach a wide audience. And I guess somebody needs to send me some commentary in favor of my friend Satish Gaba, who does such an excellent job with the stats. But let me get into this game. I think the hat trick by Hitesh Desai, I think Hitesh did all that he could. Hemant Chilwaya, 5 overs, 2 maidens, 5 runs, 1 wicket, Parthiv. Forget the wickets. But if you ask me, if Hemant is doing that good a job, it is inevitable that somebody else is going to pick up the wickets. So
Mhm.
that's exactly what's going to happen is that when Hemant is doing such a fantastic job, and I think KK really used his bowlers very well, all right? Even though Samish bowled only 1 over, I still feel that I have absolutely no problem with the way KK used his bowlers. I think the GLCC bowlers did their job. When you get a team out for 45, that is lights out good. Any of us would take it hands down, pants down any given
Right.
day, right? And but I think the problem is on the batting front, and that is where in football we have this term which is called he fumbled the ball at the goal line, right?
Mhm.
And there's a touchback which happens if you fumble the ball at the goal
Right.
line into the end zone. You don't get a touchdown, and the ball goes back to the other team. That's exactly what KK did, because KK, I don't know what we talked about it all along, that why is he pushing himself down. Gaba mentioned it, I mentioned it, you mentioned it, and we all mentioned it, and yet he kept pushing himself down, and he came last in this. It was either him or Samish who comes to bat. I believe that KK should take moral responsibility for this loss, because 45 is not too big a total, and they should have been able to chase it. And when you're chasing, if you just bat the 25 overs, you'll get that 45 runs. But this line, tension lene ka nahi, sirf dene ka hai. I feel
Yes.
that I feel the GLCC batsmen, they KK keeps talking about this phone number on the scorecard, right?
Yep.
Remember last year or the year before that, one of his favorite lines was their scorecard looked like a phone number. Well, the
Yes.
GLCC batsman decided to remind KK what the GLCC scorecard looks like when it is a phone number, Parthiv. That's exactly what happened here, because all KK is talking about is phone card. And guess what? The GLCC guys gave him all the tension that he can handle, because there's not even one single batsman in double digits.
Yeah.
Never in a million years did KK ever think that this was going to happen to him, that he was going to be at the butt end of this phone card joke. But that's exactly what happened. Parthiv, you asked me a very poignant question last week. Remember what that question was? What was that question, Parthiv? What is that question?
One player, if you would like to get from GLCC.
No. There was another question. You asked me.
Challenger.
I asked you. Yes, pretender or contender.
Yes.
Remember,
pretender.
that was the question. And I thought for a moment, and I told you, I don't think they are a pretender, and I don't think they are a contender either. They are somewhere in between. Right. And this game is your a classical example. Going against a good quality opponent, they couldn't get the job done. And when you can't chase 45 down or whatever it is, that's such a low score, and you fall down for 35 and you fumble the ball, and you yourself did not go out and bat, and you went number 11, you take moral responsibility and say, you know what, I fumbled this. This is on me. This is not on everybody else. Yes, the GLCC batting folded up. Yes, the pitch was horrible. Guess what? Glads and Pokris also probably played on the same Borden Park pitch, if I'm not mistaken. So if we are, and I don't like to blame the grounds guy for this. I mean, yeah, Vijay Shanmugam gets the grounds, but as you said, the grounds is the same for both teams, right? So if you didn't get the job done, you didn't get the job done. Yes, it might not lead to a 100-run score, but still 45 is chaseable. And I think this is all on KK and company. This phone-digit scorecard is not going to get the job done. And then again, the question is, Parthiv, you said you didn't see many of that this scorecard looked very foreign to you. It didn't look like a GLCC scorecard. But Parthiv, can I, and you know, some people might hate me for saying this, but everybody is thinking the same thing, which I'm going to state publicly, all right? And nobody else has the guts to state it openly, but I have the guts to state it. This is what happens when you sell your soul. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. I know exactly what
you sold your you sold your soul, and that's what happens. And so you have got a whole bunch of new players, all right? Yes. Now that's what you have to live with. Simple as that. But at the end of the day, I mean, they had some problems. I mean, they couldn't get many of their old players to come and play. But yes, still Akash is their best player. Hands down, pants down, miles away. Now, Parthiv, I have finished with the game. And Gaba, you wanted to comment on this game. And after that, I'll read the fan mail for Parthiv.
Only a couple of things. I understand the pitch was bad. And unfortunately, there was no video, so I could not judge how the wickets has been gone. But at least what I read from the scorecard, there was no LBW at all. Generally, when I see the pitch is bad, ball is low, you see those minimum one or two top order batsmen who's getting LBW. So at least that was not the case in both the innings. And understand Red Devils might be having a pressure to put a score, and where there they got a lot of catches, like wicket was caught. If you see GLCC side as well, GLCC has 6 or 7 wicket which is caught by someone. I don't know if there are a couple of caught behind or something. I don't know. It is not showing properly. But they do not also have any LBW. And they were just out in 14 overs. So those catches, wicket catches, I don't know. It was run intent and how they have lost it. Because when they have 44, 45 runs on the board, 25 overs to play, and you already lost 3-4 wickets in a chip, you should just wait for the ball that you can score and just hang in there. But I don't know how the wicket has been gone, but they got all out in just 14 over. So
yeah, but even though like Gabaji, they haven't got LBW, you see on the GLCC side there are at least 4 or 5 bowls, so they might have completely missed it and got bowled over. You know, the ball must have kept low, and I mean, as I said, it's just something that both captains felt that the pitch wasn't up to par. I'm guessing they expected, run scoring
So I
easy.
I agree that Parthiv bhai, but the pitch is bad.
Right.
And when
No,
they
I mean,
only got 45 run on the board,
yeah,
ideally, then JLCC is experience side as well, right? They should have
right.
been little bit more smart to chase this 45. I don't know. It
But
was so
here is the
terrible that
thing. Didn't our friend Chanakya Lokam play like 34, 35 balls?
Yeah.
I remember seeing some 34, 35 balls next to his name. So if he could stay there for what, 6 overs, why couldn't the other people stay? I mean, are you saying that he is that phenomenally better than many of the GLCC stalwarts? I don't think so. I mean, you could put quite a few GLCC players on the same level as Chanakya. If he could bat 6 overs worth of balls and stay at the wicket, I mean, others could have done. Yeah, but let me give some credit to Navpreet Singh. He had a fabulous outing. 3 overs, 9 runs, 3 wickets, and 14 of the 45 was scored by Navpreet Singh. Defending 45, if you ask me, Parthiv, that is impressive anywhere, any day. All right. Not just defend, Parthiv. What is even more incredible is they got the bonus too. They did not give GLCC the bonus. And Gagan had figures of 4 overs, 3 maidens, 3 runs, 3 wickets. 22 out of the 24 balls which he bowled were dot balls. Now that's what is called fabulous outing, right?
Right.
Parthiv, last year, remember KK hit Gagan out of the park, all right? And we saw that video also. It is not once, I think a couple of times he hit him out of the park. He hit Sandy out of the park. And this year, Gagan got to tell something to KK Parthiv. So I couldn't pass up on this. And you will like this line, all right? रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप होते हैं. नाम है सिंह. ना 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 ना. नाम है सरदारों का सरदार Gagan Singh. Take that, KK. Now KK got it back, but KK has only himself to blame. Sardaron ka Sardar, Gagan Singh got him and his team. KK should have gone up the order and hit Gagan out of the park. That is what KK is capable of doing. But he went number 11. Well, then who? So I'm going to spell it out for you, Parthiv. This can be blamed on what? APPEASEMENT.
Yes.
Satish Gaba, what does it spell as?
Appeasement.
we have seen this
Appeasement. That is what cost KK the game. And KK needs to do something about it because that's exactly what happened in this game.
Right. I think another thing I would say not appeasement, because I think KK has almost played with everybody in that roster, so nobody is new to me.
Gaba, he's going number 11.
I'll tell you one thing, because we have discussed this in the past as well, that what we call it, right? The captains, right? That captain's cap when he has wore, right? So he thought, I don't know, somehow it always key. We have seen this in the past with many people, So maybe
that is appeasement again.
Just a new captain, though.
But to be honest,
maybe a new captain, but he's better than a number of those guys going up ahead of him.
But I think, to be honest, I think you need hit that nail by calling out that the soul of GLCC is somewhere not there yet. I mean, I don't know whether they are missing because of some reason, but I do feel that experience which GLCC has, like the likes of Abhishek, and Ajit. I see Ajit here, but he's key. Samish, he's key. Naseem Khan, he was a very core member. So these guys, Manish, we played with him this weekend. He's also a pretty.
Manish is a good player, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so all these guys have been those guys have been with GLCC for so long, and to see a lot of these guys missing. I know it's early in the season, but I'm hoping that these guys come back to course correct some of these things that are I feel like GLCC is somehow losing a little bit of their mojo. At least at the start of the season. I mean, they started really dynamically. I mean, smashing Dynamites in 7 overs. But then after that...
they're talking about Dynamites. You know who's the happiest person after this primetime show? Vijay Shanmugam. He is dancing on his head, baby, after this primetime show. I can tell you that. After this primetime show, Vijay Shanmugam, if he comes with a sprained neck, All right, I'm telling you, Parthiv.
But he
Tomorrow, if
doesn't
he
have.
comes and says my neck is sprained and I am not able to turn my head
Well,
to face the bowler, do
well, he
not give
might
him
be.
a do not give him a substitute. All right,
Well, he
he
might
is
be
dancing
happy
on his
for.
neck.
He might be happy that GLCC and KK have lost, but I don't think he'll be happy when I go to their game, when we go to Dynamites and Detroit Bulls. Like third loss in a row, and this season is like I said last season. I mean, Dynamites are my hot favorites to go into Division Two. So
Leave that as it may. Vijay Shanmugam will be happy and he will be drinking 10 Johnny Walkers tonight.
all right, with that, we'll go into that game which I was talking about, the Dynamites versus Detroit Bulls. It's a game. It's basically a game at a game of two different teams which are at a different place. Dynamite.
Parthiv, before you go there, I have to read your fan mail,
Oh
Parthiv.
yes,
Otherwise, I'll
yes,
forget
please.
this. All right. So here is the fan mail. All right. Let me read it to you. This is for Parthiv Mehta. Yeah, it is addressed to me, obviously. You should give some bragging rights to my friend Parthiv as well. We debuted together for Troy Hawks in Mishka. Okay, he's talking about Mishka, not about
Oh
DCL.
yes, I know Shankar. You're talking about Shankar.
Yeah, Shankar Melatat. One
Yes.
of the most fierce competitors on the cricket field and a gentleman outside. My goodness, Parthiv, you need to send a copy of this video to your wife and to your daughter. That's exactly what I would do if I were in your shoes. He's a gentleman outside, is what that gentleman is calling you. I have enjoyed playing with him and against him. Wow, high praise. And then he goes on to say, look at the way he pressurized the Glad's batsman from behind the stumps. Very shrewd cricket brain. Maybe you need to send a copy of this to your present skipper, Sujay, and tell him, you need to listen to me when I tell you something, which he didn't listen to you last game. I still love that he used to run hard and bowl fast. And he's talking about 2006 to 2008. Now,
Oh yeah, those were
these
the
guys
years.
are all a little behind because last week itself, I told you what a phenomenal performance it was against GLCC. I believe it
Yes.
was in 2006.
Yes, yes. Those were some of the best years of my DCL. That's for sure. Thank you so much, Shankar. I know, yeah, those were like, yes, he's absolutely right. When I came to Michigan, I knew very few folks, and one of the guys who I probably worked with at the time at Ford had took me to the Mishka game, and that's where I met Shankar as well. So yeah, I played with him the first game in Mishka. I didn't basically go on to play Mishka that much because of time commitments, but yes, that's the time. uh, Great memory. I almost forgot about that, but thank you.
Well, at least your wife and daughter should be happy because
Yes.
there are some lot
Yeah,
of
you won't
kudos which
believe it,
came.
but my,
So,
my 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 wife gets very surprised when I meet some of the cricketers and they tell her, "Oh my God, this guy's a brat on the field." She gets very surprised. She's like, "Oh wow, he's no, he's nothing like that in the house and anywhere." So it's
okay.
all right. Let's go to the next game. It's Dynamites versus Detroit Bulls. Yeah, we were talking about. I was starting with it's a classic case of two teams at different places. Dynamites have been on the going down at the bottom. Bulls, on the other hand, have started fantastically well. I mean, another team that I would love to see come in the playoffs this season. I know they have been in this circuit for so long. They've changed names, they've changed captaincy, and they've always kind of performed. Apart from that first game, which was also a very close contest with Glads, where they almost got Glads. They have been clinical in their performances.
Parthiv, they
So,
controlled 95% of that game
exactly.
against Glatz. Only 5% of the game was not controlled by them. And that 5% is where they lost. And not just lost, they lost the bonus too. I'm still surprised how we won that game.
Absolutely. And if you see their performances, like the rest of the three victories, they've been super comprehensive. Like one with, this game with 7 wickets, the one with Canton Hurricanes is with 40 odd runs. With the Troy Hawks, they were even better, like 78 odd runs. So it was like it's been a great season. And on the other hand, Dynamites, for some reason, it's getting worse by the every weekend. They haven't been able to put the score on the board. Luckily, they've been winning tosses, so they've been getting chances to bat and get the first crack at the pitch at the surface, but they haven't been able to do any justice. In this case, as you can see here, apart from Murugan Vishwanathan, and we talked about this guy, he was really impressive in the last season where Dynamites almost reached the semifinals. He was very impressive, but those other guys, Arun Selvaraj, he's one of the key performers. He hasn't started this season really well. He needs to step in a lot more if Dynamites have to start winning. But there hasn't been any performances to write both with the bat and the ball. On the other hand, Detroit Bulls with Nikhil and Tanmay and Gaurav Hiramat, who we have talked about, the batting looks so solid. I mean, they still have Vatsal and Gino in their shed as well. So I expect this team to be really, really at the top level. And I wouldn't be surprised if we are talking like towards the end of the season and we are talking about them going through to like the quarters and the semis, because the way they've started is just super impressive. Go ahead, guys.
Gaba, you can carry on.
Yeah, not much actually. It's again one side affair as Dynamite. Fortunately, they were able to cross 50 runs this particular match. That might be the positive side which I want to take it. Another thing, if you ask me, right, I'll tell you one thing. Murugan is a lone warrior. I have seen him in the last year as well. He tried to get them some games, at least those games, because right, Division 1, Division 2, we were all together. So even those low-hanging games, he was able to win only because of Dynamite was able to win some of those games because of the Murugan. Now also he's continuously performing. I'll be surprised to see Murugan 2025 in Dynamite jersey, okay? Because I have seen a lot of people are fan of Murugan and definitely might be chasing
Murugan. There's a potential Murugan Vishwanathan ends up on Titans.
No.
Read between the lines.
No.
I think he's going to be in the Pokris unit.
Pokris, yeah.
Yes.
Because Pokris they have friends in couple of more teams. So, and he plays with those people in different tournaments.
How many people can eventually Pokris accommodate at the end of the day? They've already taken so many players from many other teams, right? I mean, from Dynamites itself, they have taken a few players. And then Arvind Sabrish came from SLCC. Then they have got a few more guys from somewhere else, right? So the question is there enough space for Murugan Vishwanathan there? So anyway, leaving that,
he is a lone warrior at this point in the Dynamite.
I agree. Murugan Vishwanathan showed up to play, and Vijay finally showed up to play, at least on the field. Up till now, he was. I think this is the first game Vijay Shanmugam is playing. At least, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. But the result was the same, right? Even though these two guys showed up, result was the same. I think Gino James, give him credit. He made Vijay Shanmugam, remember of Curtly Ambrose. I don't know, Parthiv, if you remember Curtly Ambrose.
Yes,
because 1993 Perth, Australia, he took 7 wickets.
Oh, 7 for 3.
For 1 run.
Oh, 1
7
run. Yes.
for 1 run. For 1 run, Parthiv.
Yes.
32 deliveries of fiery pace he sent down. And if you ask me, if you are just talking about a slice of time, all right, just a slice of time, just that spell, if you take, probably the greatest spell ever bowled by a bowler ever in cricket. Because how can you take 7 wickets for 1 run in 32 balls? You see, I'm not talking about the entire innings. I'm talking about a slice of times. For a slice of time, that was probably, and you can go and check it out on YouTube. It is absolutely phenomenal bowling at its best. Curtly Ambrose at its best. I mean, look at our friend Gino James. 5 overs, 1 maiden, 6 runs, 4 wickets. Wow. Our friend Vijay Shanmugam probably remembered Curtly Ambrose. Ambrosia, it was called at that time, but it was an absolute, that man, Tanmay Zante, the man you wanted to get to, the man who I am a fan of after seeing him play when he played against Glads. Okay, that was the first time I'm seeing him. I walked away very highly impressed, saying that this guy is a fabulous player. He continues to impress week after week, Partha. So if this Bulls team achieves much, I think look at that opening batsman, Tanmay Zante. He has a lot to offer because now it is not just Gaurav and not just Gino and not just Nikhil Sunny, but they also have Tanmay Zante, which really makes them. And this is a good, solid DCL batting unit is what I would call it, you see. So fantastic outing for Bulls.
Yep.
And last comment, Vijay, as you were mentioning, right? Vijay might be dancing after seeing GLCC performance. If he
on his
danced
head.
enough,
I didn't say dancing. I said dancing on his head. Quote me correctly.
okay. Then if he is so happy about that, then he should just look at his point table for the Division 1 and see that they still have 0 point after 3 games.
Wow. I see that today you are in a mood to give it to Vijay Shanmugam left and right. So I can expect a call from Vijay Shanmugam to tell me a few things about you, because last time it was about I mean, I'm sure there's no love lost between KK and our friend Vijay Shanmugam, but you're giving him more fuel to the fire, Gaba Bhai.
I'm showing the reality.
Now, after hearing your comments, our friend KK will be dancing on his legs and probably his head too. Who knows?
Wow. It's 9:30. It's about that time. It's Vijay's time right now. So
Vijay just forward the time that you get.
No. You guys are putting me into all kinds of unnecessary soup, you see.
all right, let's go to the next game. The Troy Hawks versus the Fighters. Again, Troy Hawks, I'm very disappointed to say, but has lost a little bit of its teeth, which they had. And, courtesy to some of the players that they have lost, but they're looking really, really ordinary uh, in in their game so far. In this game, I think it was, Fighters just ran over all of them. I mean, Sai Manoj, he's been one of the outstanding bowlers that DCL has seen in the recent times. Second time, I think this is his second fifer in the 4 or 5 weeks that we've played, and he and along with Mahesh just completely decimated after a good start from Natraj. I think that opening partnership was decent, 5 overs, 20 runs before they started losing the way, and then just like how KK says, it's single digits all the way, telephone number with 4 or 5 ducks in between. No one really stood up for them. And then when Fighters took the batting, Ravi Tej Pujari and Mano Reddy just basically blasted them through and got the job done in 8-10 overs. I remember they were playing across the field from us from the Glad Strikers game, and they were done before I think we started the second innings. They were that quick, and Fighters were already prepping up and packing their kit and going. So it was a clinical performance by Fighters. Gabaji, what do you say from your?
Again, I think it was a one-sided game. Natraj was only stood out in scoring the double digit, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Other than that, I think there was no much support. And I think the guy who was scoring for them, I forgot his name. I'm sorry about that, but he was also missing in the squad. The Troy Hawk game, which at least the game that I watched against the FCC when I was umpiring, that guy was opening and he scored 40, 50 runs, around 40 runs. He was missing too. Other than that, I think nothing too much add from my side on this game. I think.
Yeah.
But why
Yeah,
did we miss?
Parthiv,
I think Glad versus Striker was before this, right? Why?
No. We want to go to that game last with the hope that Satya would attend by then.
My bad.
We don't want Satya to get a free pass, right? I mean, just because Glad's lost, Satya can't skip this game. Now, he says he has a meeting with a client. Well, let us accept it at face value that he does have a meeting with a client, and that is why. But we're still giving that opportunity for Satya to show up. In other words, he lost the game and he needs to take some flack for that. And so we'll give him that opportunity till the last possible minute wherein he can show up before I'll have to fill in for him, you see. So that's the only reason we are going last to the Glads game.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I did not notice that. Okay,
we don't give a free pass, Gababai. We don't give a free pass. You might be KK, you might be Satya. We don't give a free pass.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can move on to the next game, Parthiv.
Yeah, we are running out of time, so we can move on to the next game.
All right. Next game
we did start half an hour late. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. The next game was the Raptors versus the FCC. This is a game which I was talking about at the start of the show when Sandeep had messaged you that Raptors are carrying on the shoulders of Pradeep Bota, a second successive great innings from him. Last time he was able to score the 50. This time he missed out 48. But this he was equally well supported by Akhilesh. I think both of them just got FCC completely out of the game. 130, scoring 130, and then getting FCC completely bamboozled at 40 or 44 odd runs. And it wasn't like FCC are a bad team, but it's just that with the amount of pressure that Raptors must have put after scoring those 135 runs, I'm pretty sure FCC would have been shoulders down and looking at a pretty ordinary team. But the only guy who continues to show up for FCC is the guy with the longest name in DCL. That is Sujan. Day in and day out, every season, he's always performing with the ball. He's always there amongst the wickets, and it's something that the FCC batters need to step up. Again, a lot of zeros and a lot of people who didn't even open their mark. So all in all, a very embarrassing performance, I would say, from FCC. Getting bowled out in 13 overs after conceding those 140 runs. It does look like FCC is definitely on the going on the reverse side, and another team that I would put them in the Division 2, going into Division 2 as one of the favorites to go into Division 2 as well at the current situation.
How many teams go into Division 2?
4 teams.
4 teams, is it?
Yep. And we'll talk about. I mean, in the current race, I would say in the current form. I mean, before the season, I would have put strikers there as well. But considering how the team is starting to gel, I think we are better off not in that group. But right now,
yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if Glad's fit into that 4 to go into Division 2. All right. So that's why I was asking this question. I was hoping it was 2. But you say it's 4. You're raising the blood pressure a bit here.
No, 2 from the age pool.
2 from each pool, yes.
So
I mean, not necessarily.
It's total 4. But
Dynamites and FCC are in the other pool, so that means we are ripe for.
Wait. Let me correct. But Gabaji, not necessarily from 2 pools, right? It has to be after the end of the season.
No, Parthibai, there is no ranking this year.
Oh, okay.
This year, there is no ranking that after the league game, we are not putting all the team together. It is cross-matching because we have 2 pools, right?
Okay.
So playoff combination.
But you're still going to rank based. You're still going to rank based on points, at least within the division, right?
Yeah, within the division, anyway, cricket clubs is doing it, right? So bottom 2 teams will go to the straight to Division 2.
All right.
Okay.
And on the other hand, Division 2. Only semi-finalists all the 4 semi-finalists will reach to Division 1 next year.
Well, I'll tell you right now, at least in Division 1, it's KRCC and Canton Hurricanes, which are at the bottom of Division Group A, and then Hitmen and Dynamites, which are at the bottom of Group B. So, KRCC, I mean, surprise, they are at the bottom of Group A right now, at least. But I would expect, it's going to be a tough call for Troy Hawks, FCC. If they continue this way, it's going to be hard for them to see through the season. But yes, you guys.
FCCL got 5 points only against us.
Oh yes, that was their first victory. So that's true. You guys lost against them.
Raptors versus FCC, Parthiv. I think for FCC, Sujan is the Bumrah of FCC. He had a phenomenal game, but I think FCC batting is a real problem. I think if you're Nishant, I do not know what the solution is, honestly, because some of it is the talent level and some of it is the application. And I think they really have a problem on the batting end. But let's focus on Botta for a minute, right? Right now, in my books, he's batting better than anyone else in DCL. I think he's the orange cap leader by a mile, if I'm not mistaken, after 4 games. That's a pretty big lead, if you ask me, because you're talking about Division 1. Because in Division 1, all the teams are pretty good. It's not easy to score. It's not like you went and scored against XYZ, who is at the bottom of Division 2, and all of a sudden you scored 70 runs. Big deal, That's not the same as scoring 10 runs against a Division 1 team, which is a top-notch unit. It's not going to be easy to score that. But I don't know. I think it's a movie Karan Arjun where it says, Mera Arjun aa jayega, Mera Arjun aa jayega. The mother keeps crying that, right? I mean, Karan Arjun aayenge. That's right. Ben,
Yes.
you're so good at movies. I don't know.
I
I mean,
eat street movies. That's the problem.
yeah. I mean, so next time onwards, any comment, I just have to run it by you. Kiran, Karan, whichever way it is, our friend Kiran is going to say, Mera botta aayega, mera botta aayega. And sure enough, botta shows up. I don't know what the deal is. You know, when Botta was the skipper, Kiran was the standout performer. Now,
Right.
Kiran is the skipper and Botta is the standout performer. They have a pretty
Maybe
good they
yeah.
have a pretty good equation going on between them. But hats off to Botta. 2 games in a row, he carried that team on his back. I mean, I think I always used to call him the money player in DCL. But right now, I think with all this talent which is gone, he's just raising the level of his game. And they are still performing at a very high level despite all the talent loss. I mean, which makes us wonder, what if Botta had done the same thing in the previous years, where instead of pushing himself down, if he had just decided to come one down and said, you know what, all you great guys, you guys stay behind. I'm still the DCL king, and I know how to bat in DCL, and I know how to bat on DCL wickets, and I know how to handle pressure, and I know how to soak pressure, and I'm just going to do what I do best, and you guys play around me. But that's exactly what's happening now, and Botta is carrying that team. So hats off to Botta.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, you're right. He's the top scorer right now with the orange cap, with 2 back-to-back innings. So, still very early, but yeah, that's cracking form. To score back-to-back 40s and 50s is outstanding in DCL. We'll go to the next game, unless, Satish bhai, you wanted to add anything on the game?
No, I think we can go ahead.
All right. The next game was a big nail biter, and as expected, I think this was our showcase game of the week last week. SLCC Legends and Indus Thunders. What a cracking game it was. Indus Thunders barely made it. I think they lost. Yeah, they lost the bonus points, surely, for sure. But they just got through to win this game by a whisker, by a 1 wicket margin. It was a great game. It happened across from where we were playing, and I could hear, it was going really, really to the wire. At one point of time, it looked like Thunders were coasting with Rohit and Ronak batting, and then and then there was a collapse. Then you had Chetan rescue. Again, one of the things I didn't really understand even is Chetan coming down the order. I know he used to open for a lot of the Thunders games, so it's surprising to see him at the bottom of the order. I mean, again, still early in the season. I'm pretty sure there's some experimentation going on, especially with the likes of Maulik and Ronak coming. Manoj opened as usual. I think Manoj and Chetan are their go-to openers for what I've seen. But in this case, it was a slightly different combination. If it wasn't for the last wicket partnership, or not the last wicket, but yeah, last wicket partnership, which happened between Rohit and uh, Chetan, it would have been impossible for them to win. And Chetan remained not out, so he carried his bat through the season. But Legends, they bowled their heart out. I mean, I wouldn't say they did anything that they could have done better. They bowled with their heart out. Harish, Guru, Shrikant, all were spectacularly, aggressive and going after it. There were wickets at regular intervals. This game was, probably played in the highest spirit, highest competitiveness, and both teams were just going after each other with both bat and ball. I wish it would have been a slightly high scoring game, but I mean, I would take this win in between two big teams. It's always going to be that 70s, 80s. You always seen in the finals as well in DCL. It's the 80s and 90s which dominate when you have two powerful batting and bowling attacks going after each other. But all in all, Indus Thunders would be very, very relieved that they got these 5 points, and sorry, 4 points, and so an important win for them. But SLCC Legends, I think they just missed out. Had they scored a little more runs, I think they would have got this game. Probably would have won this game as well.
I'll let Gaba,
Gaba ji.
because I have a bunch of notes on this. So
Yeah,
I'll let
I think
Gaba go
couple of
first, and
things that then I'll let it Vijubhai to go through. I think I mentioned this couple of times already. Legend looks little weaker on the batting side, or rather, their batting is not clicking enough, I would say. Okay, every time I see, only department that they are failing is batting. Even in this game, if you see, the extra is the highest scorer, 17 extra, which actually surprised me because Indus is very disciplined bowling. How
Mm.
come they got the 17 extra? Then I just realized they have got a new fabulous addition, Rohit Pawar. He actually ended up bowling 8 wide, but he managed to get 4 wickets. And also, he actually performed with the bat as well. I think he's a new addition to the Indus, or maybe in the Michigan itself, because I have not seen him playing, or maybe I might have missed it. I could not see a lot of games, at least on his profile
Yeah, I
in
think
Michigan.
he's fairly new. I think he's
Yeah,
fairly
I
new.
think looks like he's a new, but looks like it's a really good finding.
Yeah.
Performing really good, catching up with the 4 wickets and again scoring those important 22 runs while the chase, and very well supported. He had a very good partnership with Ronak first, and then he had a good partnership with Chetan as well. So
Mm.
he was, even though he got out toward the end, but he actually got them a game along with Ronak and Chetan. And
Mm.
I think eventually he was the man of the match because he performed on the both the sides. Vijay bhai, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, Gaba bhai, I got a chance to watch towards the end of that Indus game because after the Glad's Strikers game got over, I kind of watched a bit of the ending of that game between Indus and Legends actually. So I got a chance to see him bat. I think he's a pretty solid batter, and I think it's a very good addition for them. So I think Hari Parankusam's dream of winning a championship. Well, guess what? Hari Parankusam and our friend Sandeep Gopu are like Cobra and Mongoose. All right. Uh, let's 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 state the facts as the facts are. All right. So they both like to beat each other up. Now they might publicly may not say it, but privately I know what the truth is. Right. But having said that, that's okay. That brings out the competitive element within the teams when they meet out there. But this is a solid ad. This Rohit Pawar is a solid ad. I didn't see him bowl, so I do not know. I can't comment on his bowling, but I just saw him bat. Parthiv, movie buff question. All right.
Go
हर
ahead.
टीम में बस एक ही गुंडा हो सकता है और इस टीम का गुंडा मैं हूं. Which movie is that?
Chuck the India, Shahrukh Khan.
Yeah,
All
check the
I
right,
will
India.
Chuck
take
the
this
India.
side.
Oh, we have another movie buff. So I'm the only guy
Yeah.
who has no clue what's going on. You might wonder who in the world is the Gunda in Indus Thunders. Let me tell you, there's only one Gunda. See, Parthiv, why I said we are going for the Glad's game last? Satya Vimal Velayutham has joined, baby. He has joined. I told you, let us wait and make sure that he joins because we are not giving a free pass. So now you see the wisdom behind me telling you to hold the Glad's game to the last game. All right. Let's not digress. Let's look. The
Yep.
question was, who is the Gunda of Indus Thunders? All right. I think his name is Chetan Dushyantappa Gundappa Gunda. Okay.
Yep.
This is Gunda number 1 of DCL Parthiv. I don't care what Chetan thinks about it. This Chetan Dushyantappa is a real pain in the wrong place. Let me tell you that. He's a pestilence number 1 for any opponent. As long as he is in the middle, as long as he is yet to bat, the question of winning against Indus Thunders should not arise in the mind of the opponent. Let me tell you that. If you don't believe me, go and look at last year's DCL semifinals. I had no hopes that we will win it because for 12 overs, Mr. Chetan was there in the middle. Then we saw the back of Chetan. All right. Once Chetan was back in the pavilion, I felt okay, here we go. We now have a crack, and now we are going to try to drive our Mack truck through the crack. This year they have addressed that crack because now they have Rohit Pawar to probably cement the crack. But that's when the dam broke, and that's when we drove the Mack truck through that crack in the wall. Now, if you think I'm giving false praise, all right, let me read the stats. The stats doesn't lie, right? It was 61 for 9. Chetan Dushyant is there in the middle, and I have no idea why he's going that low. But nevertheless, Chetan Dushyant is in the middle. He has scored 1 run, all right? 1 run in 3 balls. And 22 overs are done, Parthav. So you have 3 overs and you have to get what, 75 or something like that, right? I mean, 74 or 75 or something like that. There's only 1 wicket left. So it's a long way away. At that point, it is advantage, or if you want to put it in tennis terms, it is match point Indus Thunders. All right. All you need is 1 more point, and that's it. The game is over, right? 1 wicket. In the next 6 balls, Chetan Dushyant takes the strike, and he faced all 6 balls. In those 6 balls, Parthiv, 12 runs came, and all 6 balls was faced by Gunda #1 of DCL, Chetan Dushyant. This freaking smiling Gunda is a real headache for every DCL opponent, and this is the real truth. Now, that is high praise, all right? And leave all the Gunda terms around and all those things. That's another opponent telling that this guy is really, really good. And, I mean, as long as he is there, it's going to be a real problem. So, Parthiv, let me ask this week a question. Like last week, I asked you one dream player you could get from GLCC. Well, if we had to take one pick, we could pick our player from Indus Thunders. Who would you pick for strikers? And I'll tell you who I'll pick for Bloods.
Oh my God, that's a really tough question.
Yes, but I don't like to ask easy questions. What's the big deal? Asking you 2 + 2 is how much? What's the big deal in getting the answer for that? Every Tom, Dick, and Harry knows the answer to that.
Right. I need a few seconds. I need a few seconds to.
All right, Gabba, who would you take if you had to take only one player from Indus Thunders?
Very tough question.
Oh, come on, Gabba.
I'll get Malik.
You'll get Malik, okay?
Wow.
I would say in 2024, if in last year in the probably I'll get Manoj Singh.
I think I'll go. I will go with the Gunda. I think I'll go with Chetan himself.
See, me and Parthiv, we think. We were together on Akash.
Yes.
For Glads. Okay, now this is not saying. I think just for Glads, if we played against strikers, if we had a guy like Chetan, I can assure you we probably might win that game, because all those wickets wouldn't have been falling by the cycle stand in Mumbai. You know, one cycle falls and the next all the remaining cycles fall. That's kind of what happens. But if we had a guy like Chetan, he will hold one end up. So that's incredible talent to have. So if I could pick one player, that was one player, because we have the hitters, right? So having another hitter doesn't really add that much value as much as somebody who can stay at the wicket and
I think I have the same
manage.
I have the same rationale for my team as well, because our team is so sprint friendly. I think Chetan fits into our 11 right perfectly, because I think he'll add to that spin combination which we have currently going on. I think he'll add more teeth to our attack as well.
And also he's a very good spinner. That would add a little more variety to our lineup. So I'm strictly speaking from a Glad's perspective. If I had to pick one guy out of that lineup, which guy would I like to play? And maybe others may not rate him highly or whatever it is. I know probably they rate him, but they probably don't say it out loud. I do not know.
No,
but
I think he's highly rated. He's the most. He is one of the sought-out players, I would say, in the different leagues as well. If he's available, I think most captains and most teams would gladly have him in the squad. So there is no doubt about it. And I just got another information from Sandeep. He says Rohit Pawar used to play for Troy Hawks last year, and then he played for Indus Thunders in the winter tournament. So I think that's where he comes from. The background story.
So here is the problem. The problem is you get noticed only when you go and play on some of the high-profile teams. And people may not like what I'm saying, but here is that's also ground reality. When you play on the high-profile teams, suddenly you get noticed. Now, none of us, isn't it a mystery? All 4 of us did not know, or I do not know if Satya knew, but the other 3 of us did not know where he played. All of us thought that this is a new addition kind of a thing. Which means what? He went under the radar. And now that he's on Indus Thunders, all of a sudden, he's not under the radar. But yeah, I did observe him. But again, I think part of this was all Chetan Dushyant. This is game, set, and match. A class player came and stamped his class. And look at it. I mean, Chase that he hit a six, and he had the courage to hit a six even in that dire situation. And that too to Harish, he hit a six. So it's not a ordinary bowler. All right. Harish was hit for a six. And so give him all the credit. I think Chetan deserves all the accolades which comes to him. Sorry for calling him a Gunda, but when you are a Gunda, you're going to get called a Gunda. It's as simple as that.
But one thing I'll tell you, this Gunda word doesn't go right with Chetan. I have seen him.
I know. It's a smiling Gunda, Gaba Bhai, it is the smiling Gunda. He kills you with a smile first.
Most soft spoken guy, around you can find. So
yeah,
Gunda word comes with the rowdy. Maybe he bats like a rowdy, probably. Gunda.
Yeah. He smiles at you and he kills you with his bat, and then if possible, he'll kill you with the ball as well. So
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
good player, good person. I enjoy my conversations with him too. So
absolutely,
whatever it is, we like to highlight the great players in this league. So that's what we're doing. So one more job done. And somebody might wonder if we do our homework. Parthiv, look at all the notes which I sat before this thing creating, because sometimes you need to put in the hard work. It doesn't just come in just by.
Appreciate that. I think some of the stories and some of the connections or the context you bring is just astonishing. How you connect even the movies and some of the sports related events. That is just unbelievable. I don't think I can do that as even though I watch probably a lot more movies. I eat sleep movies, but when it comes to actually connecting the dots, I don't think I can do that.
Parthiv, do you realize that people call me all the way from Assam and Tripura to go and conduct some speaking conferences? I'm telling you the truth.
Nice.
I'm a very sought out speaker actually, and that one of the reasons is because of these connections that I do actually.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
But anyway, let's go on. We have now what? Right. Titans versus Hurricanes?
Yeah, we have one more game. Is the Detroit Titans versus Hurricanes. All I can say is, Detroit Titans batting is looking great. I'm sure Gabaji was be feeling good, because I think until last year we were calling them a bowling unit, that they can play good defense, but the batting is struggling. But this particular game, I think the 141 that they have posted is probably the highest of the entire week that the team has posted. So it was a great performance with the bat, especially the top order. If you see the likes of Praveen, Prajwal, Kalyan, I think those guys just dominated the batting at the top. And then after that, yes, they probably lost a few wickets trying to get more runs. But 141 was always going to be a very, very big total for any team to get against the bowling likes of the Titans. They have some of the most stingiest bowlers in Parag and Ronnie and Gaba Bhai himself, Kalyan. All those guys are very difficult to score runs off. So once they had those runs on the board, Canton Hurricanes are always going to struggle. Yes, they did probably did get a few runs. Najid at the top and Hari Pallava and Praveen. The opening was good, but then after that, the pressure probably took over, and you can see they just kept hitting the stumps. I mean, that shows the accuracy of some of these bowlers, which Titans have. You see, they have got at least six I can see bowls, or five bowls at least, which shows the accuracy with which Kalyan and Parag were bowling to get the Canton Hurricanes all out. So Canton Hurricanes, another team which has shown a lot of promise, and that's the reason why they are in Division 1, because of their performances last year. But this year has been a struggle. So, Viju, what would you want to add about
Just out of curiosity, do you guys know if 141 is the highest in Division 1 this year?
I mean, at least this week. I don't know about...
no, this year, 4 games have gone, right? I mean, what is the highest score? Is it 141? I was just curious.
I have not seen anything 140. I think there was one game where we have 140 odd runs, but I think there is nothing more than 150 at least. So 140,
so 141,
I think one game was there which is 140.
So that means 141 is the highest then, right? I mean, that's...
no, 140 plus something was there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right.
I have seen that score probably. Let me find
all I know, Parthiv, let me tell you this on national television. Titans will not score 141 against their next opponent. Take that and give it to and put it in writing. All right. Against their next
Oh
opponent,
my
they
God, the
are not
confidence.
scoring 141. All right. I am guaranteeing you that. I'm giving at least that I can guarantee. Whether Glads will win the game or not, that I can't guarantee. But Titans are not scoring 141. That's all I can guarantee. All right. So if you want a guarantee, that's the guarantee I'm willing to give. But but let me tell you, Titans versus Hurricane, there was a Hurricane, and his name was Kalyan Tanjavaru. And correct me, Gaba Bhai, he might not have even been out. Gaba can chime in because he probably saw the game firsthand. I only got to see a snippet of it, and from where I saw it, now I don't think he was out. But I think Hurricanes, let's give them credit for one thing: 95 on against this top-notch bowling. That shows signs of life, at least. You see, I think for Hurricanes, if they have to proceed further, Adarsh has to click, and Adarsh has not clicked this year. So Adarsh has to rediscover his touch, and I have no idea where their other star performer, Mohammad Ramzi, is, because he was performing with the ball, and sometimes he comes and gives those cameo performances with the bat. There was one game which they had no business winning. I think last ball he hit a six and won them. So when you don't have that kind of a player in your lineup, that also causes a problem. Hari Pallava seems to be discovering his touch. At least in this game, he was in the runs. Naj was in the runs. So I think there are signs of life. But I think Adarsh has to rediscover his touch. He'll have to do whatever it is. But he's the skipper, so he'll be able to figure it out. But Gaba knows this game better than anybody else. So I'm going to pass it to Gaba.
Yeah, first thing that I want to mention, 141 is the highest total so far. The next was 140, which is against Detroit Bulls and Troy Hawks. So I just checked it. Yeah, so actually, one thing I'll tell you, SCP one ground, this where we played it. This is my first game. At least I have never played on that ground before. And that
When you say
ground,
SCP, which ground is this? Where are we
this
playing?
Southfield City Center ground. Yeah, something.
Civic Center.
Southfield ground. So that ground, specifically that specific ground was really batsman friendly. The ball was coming really nice. Even though we were playing the second game there, we were having the afternoon game. Even though pitch was holding really good. So we were the way the we and then our batsman, the top order has been utilized nicely. The same way, if you see right, when they Canton Hurricane started, our bowler initially had difficulties to get the wicket because they were easily getting into the bat. But when our magician again, the Ronnie Bhai came, in any pitch, when he is on his best, nobody can play him. And when they were into momentum and they wanted to, they were already got some boundaries in the first couple of bowlers. They tried to go against him as well and then generated couple of opportunities. So actually, that is where you see, right? The first, even though you see a lot of bolts and from the Kalyan and Parag, but the top order has completely been collapsed by one and only Ronnie Bhai. Another thing that I wanted to highlight, which we haven't talked much about that person, is Javed Bhai. Javed Bhai, irrespective of what ground, who is your opponent, he always performs. He's always on the wickets. But somehow, again, because of the Canton Hurricanes is not able to win some of the games, even after his good performance, we do not highlight his performance maybe. Even in this game, if you see, he's got 4 wickets and economical as even in the good batting friendly wicket, he was bowling even much better, I would say. And he was able to hold the batsman from the one end.
So Gabaji, it looks like the flux of players that you have from Kalyan and Tarun and Anil, all those guys coming in. I think the batting, at least the batting problems have been more or less solved, right? Do you feel like that?
Definitely, I at least I am expecting we should bat better than last year. Because the way we are addition and even Praveen was last year's I personally talked to him and I wanted him to open and this he was there in last year as well but he was playing middle order. This year I talked to him and we talked about it, like I told him my thought about him what he should do and then we both aligned and then I see he's performing really well. So you may see him performing really good too. He's also a very good all-rounder. And Tarun Bhai was always good because he comes with a left hand option and he is very quick on the body he can clear those two easily. So yeah,
So
so
now that
if I see,
Viju has laid down the gauntlet, he's not going to allow you to score 141. How much do you think is enough for Glads?
I think whatever which is required to beat them.
Very, very political answer, but give me a number. Give me a number. How much
I
do you
don't know.
think?
I think
How much as a captain you feel like you got a game on? I mean,
suppose if we get a chance to bat first, if we have at least a score in 3 digit, I think we have fairly enough chances to beat Glads.
okay. So 3 digits is what you are aiming at. That will give you a at least some fight to go and feel like you can beat. All right.
No, no, not feel like we'll beat them if we have three
Oh,
digits
okay.
also.
All right. So 3 digits, what it is, then whether how much Viju wants to be able to control. That's a different. I mean, what Satya wants is a different. So I'll ask Satya probably that question. Oh, Satya is there. Satya, how much would you like to chase against the Titans?
Yeah, they have a really very good bowling.
Yes.
So anything more than 80, 85 will be tough. So
Okay.
really get them under that, or you have to be really good to go more than that.
So I think the secret sauce is between 85 to 100. That's what, as a neutral spectator, I think that's what both of you guys will. At least you think that that's going to be a tough game after that.
Yeah, anything 90 is anyone's. Depends on the day, right? Like,
Cool. All
Well,
right.
let me put Satya on the spot. Satya is Titan scoring 141 against Glads. You're the Glads skipper. You should know the pulse.
one.
141.
So
I
as
only said
you
that
know,
I only said they're not scoring 141.
Yeah,
That's all I said.
yeah, Viju's guarantee that it's not going 141.
no,
Yes.
I don't think they're going 141 for sure. So,
Okay. See, that's what I said. 141, they are not scoring 141. Then if they score 141, we need to rethink our priority. Whether we should be going straight away, we should be promoted to Division 2. Okay. We shouldn't even wait till next year. After
Well,
this game itself, promote us to Division 2.
any day anything can happen. I remember we got hammered 200 by KRCC in was it last year or the year before? So things happen.
Yeah, but there was a tsunami called Oni there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that man can I don't know, dominate any attack if he gets going.
All right, let's go to the last game for which we've been waiting for: Glads versus Strikers. So, who wants to go first? I don't want to go first. I don't want to, I want to hear some of the some of the. I would. How about Gabaji? You go first since you're neutral.
Okay, let me go through it. Just give me a second. I was not prepared for this.
I guess the problem is we both are so well prepared that we don't want to give each other any edge over this argument.
What edge you should not give. The
No,
striker
no, I was
completely,
just, just
striker completely dominated this game. Okay, even the last few games that you might have won against Glads, it was maybe little. I remember last time when you celebrated, it was a very close game. I think last wicket
correct,
it was like last wicket a few runs, right?
correct.
This
Yes,
year, this particular game, you it's actually completely dominated by striker. If you see, right, 74/10, and then the pitch was good. I think it's still 74, and then 75, 6 wicket, 19 over, right?
yep,
Six overs in hand, and you got the game with the bonus, right? So
yep,
it is no close game or no edge over it. It's
yep.
completely edged by striker, completely dominated by striker altogether.
Absolutely. I think I concur. I mean, last two games which we won, one in the playoffs, that was a very close game, which we chased to the wire. The one after that, it was the first game of the season, so it was a low scoring, cold conditions that we played in. So another nail biter there. But this game, I think we definitely felt much more at ease, even though we were chasing. I mean, 70 odd is always, kind of, it can go either way if you don't start well. It's a relatively low score, but it's not that low that you can just ease. But the way we chased, I think it was clinical. And what I liked is this time around there was no big celebration. I mean, I was surprised that our team as well. There was nothing. Anybody felt like we got a game which we didn't expect to win. So it was just as business as usual, which was, that's the attitude, I guess, the team is now starting to get is, we are here to, we have a place in Division 1, and we are here to stay. So this was a win that, I guess, we were hoping that, with our past record and with the bowling lineup. I had mentioned in the show last weekend, we are going to use the same template. And again, I think Lads fell into the trap right away, straight away. And kudos to our bowling unit. I think we've got, if I think probably Pokris comes close to the kind of variety or the spin they have. They've got 3 left arm spinners, so they do not have an off spinner. But we've got, with the likes of Kapil, Sujay, Vinayak, the variety of attack is just unbelievable, and they've been in purple form right now, in the last 4 games. I mean, unbelievable. The wickets have been shared. I've had hardly anything to bowl or ride to, and I was telling Sujay, I didn't even do anything in the game apart from chatting behind the stumps, but but that was my only contribution. But I felt the game, at the start, when we lost the toss. When we lost the toss and we got to field, I think that's what we actually wanted. We wanted to field and we wanted to chase, so that actually worked out well for
You
us.
lost the toss or you won the toss?
You won the toss.
Oh, we won the toss. Okay, so I'm sorry, but yes, my point was, yes, we wanted to field, and then that actually worked out because we wanted to use the wicket fresh and be able to then pace our innings in a way that we know exactly how to play. Because many times we, in these big games, we've tried to overthink that we need more runs than we actually do against big teams, and then we fall way short of what would have been a decent total. But when you're chasing, especially against some of the bigger teams, if you can get the total in your mind, then you can pace it out, or you can play in that order. And things don't exactly work out, like it didn't work out against KRCC when we got hammered by 200 runs. But in this case, I think we kept on putting that same pressure, kept on bowling our spin, the trio, the spin trio in tandem. I think Sujay did an outstanding job rotating the bowlers, and he never really allowed the wickets. We never really were in a defensive mode, even though. We kept on getting wickets, but we never really got like, okay, let's get somebody else and try him out, or let's get a few overs in. We just kept attacking, and had Glads played probably the overs out, the last 3-4 overs, they could have cashed in, because we had probably the fifth bowler still to be finished out the overs. So in overall, I think I felt really good about this game. Yes, I would have loved to lose probably a couple of less wickets. I think the last 2 wickets we lost in with 1 or 2 runs left, or 3 runs left. But all in all, I think this team is definitely looking upwards, and the next game is going to be another litmus test for us against Legends, because they have a very good bowling attack as well. So all in all, I would say Viju, three-peat, it's 3-0, and we are hoping that we continue this. And like Samish Bhai said last year, I think Glads is our new GLCC. So we keep on we keep on somehow waking up and getting the better of Glads every time. And you won't believe it, but everyone around the ground was like, "How do you guys do it? How do you guys do it?" And I'm like, "We laid out the template. It's on the show. Go and watch the show." I said it, we are going to use that spin to our effect. So it's a template which we tried and tested and proved it yet over again. Yes.
So another one more point. I think striker team has improved a lot this year. Okay, I see the way Avraji is back, and then Ketan, we have seen Ketan yesterday,
Yep.
right? And then Sarvesh is also performing really good. And Sujay performing with the bat also is surprised me because I have not seen him batting enough.
Oh,
As
he's a very good batsman. It's just that last season wasn't his best, but yeah, he's a good
yeah,
batsman.
I have not seen him though. Yeah. Another thing that I feel, right, even the last year I told you this. I think striker is not utilizing Dinesh also enough. I think he is also good all rounder.
Yes.
Even if you today, maybe because you guys, as you mentioned, that you wanted to have a slow start or slow bowler bowling much, he has been introduced very late, right?
Yes.
And still he did his best, got picked up the 3 wickets, right? Which is again important, right?
Got it. Very
So
important.
if even last year also I felt the same way because Dinesh could do more for a striker than what he is doing now if he has been utilized. If you or your captain start utilizing it
Yeah,
better.
absolutely. I mean, this year we've done that. I think last year Dinesh was struggling a little bit with his injury, with his bowling run up in general. So I think that's why things weren't falling in place. But he sorted that out. Credit to him. He's worked really hard on sorting that issue which he had with his bowling, and now he's got the rhythm really going. So yes, definitely he's our one of our go-to sort out bowlers now this season as well.
Yeah. Over to Vijay bhai.
Yes, Viju, I want to hear. Is it going to be Satya
Over
first?
to Satya.
Over to Satya.
Satya, we need more light on your
Well,
face.
I'm not. I'm not even. I'm
I-
not even going on the Jeet topic. So we'll
I
keep
am.
that aside. Okay.
Oh, you're leaving that topic. You don't want to educate DCL?
There has been so much talks behind and so many things going on that I'm just like done with it, because I don't think there is any conclusion to it, because I think
Uh,
until
Oh,
next year
so you are saying that there is a lot of controversy still.
controversy
There
in
is
the
no
sense that
controversy. I think Parthiv, I think you're putting it on more complication. There is no controversy.
But
Rule is
can I tell you something? That rule book is not very clear, Gaba bhai. That's why, yes, last
so.
year also I called you because I couldn't understand the rule book. I think we need to simplify. Can I suggest one thing? Can you guys go and do and implement the same rule what Mishka has? That's one of the questions which Mishka has is, why doesn't DCL have the same rule which Mishka has? Which I do not know what exactly is their exact rule for
yeah,
this
we'd
thing,
love
but
to
I
see
think
what
it
the
is
rule is.
I don't
whatever.
know. Even I have to go and check
But
that.
those guys are also saying, why does DCL act high and mighty and implement all kinds of this thing? Why can't both leagues have the same consistent rule and work together
So
as a league kind of a thing?
There's a
But
I
there's a
agree.
difference.
We tried that also. First thing, because I'll try to clarify a few things that you mentioned. First thing that about the rule book specifically in this one. This was a complicated and a lot of loopholes were there, right? If you see on the rule book, only scenarios that we have wrote for this, because we knew that only providing the description might not help. Okay, there are 6 to 7 scenarios which has been. If you
but
see the rule book, right?
if you implement the Mishka rule, what they are saying is there is no scenarios. It's very straightforward. Why you want to get into all these complications? Why not simplify everybody's life? The empire's life, the team's life, the league's life, the committee's life, everybody. That's what the
Then we
Mishka
have
committee
to see.
themselves said.
I don't know the exactly rule, but I know one rule that is different for substitute player in Michigan DCL is that players shouldn't be fielding enough overs to bowl. Like if somebody is out for 4 overs, they cannot bowl for another 4 overs. That is how Michigan works. At least one rule. In the DCL, you can just go out and come back and bowl and go out and bowl. So if we have to go align with them, I don't know. If we are just talking, I'm not talking as a committee member, even though we
Yeah,
have
I
to.
agree.
Yes. So we have to change a couple of more rules around it. And also, you remember, right? Mishika, we had not even I did it. I only started probably that when I got 3 years ago, Sahesh flipping here and there, right? And there was no
Yeah.
rule for that. So slowly and gradually, we started covering those things to minimize the loophole, basically. And I do agree with that because only the description might not help. That is why we have 6 scenarios. We after this episode we'll add another scenario probably, at least to clarify, and then if all the team are agreed including my team, we can change the rule maybe next year but not this year,
Even after this, somebody had come up with a brilliant scenario, the one which Adi had posted.
it was fun.
Oh my
It
God,
was
that
so
is
fun.
brutal. I will
Who
talk about this.
posted?
Adi from which team is he from?
It's
Hitman.
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 Aditya
Oh my
Gopal.
God.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
like, what if a batter is injured and he needs a runner, right? And the person that has already left, yeah, there's one person who's already left. So the opposition captain agrees for a runner, but then when the opposition captain has the choice to select which player can be a runner, he can select the player that is gone. So effectively, that batsman is out. So that can be brutal, but nobody will do that. But still, people come up with weird scenarios. In the end, I think what has been,
He's a very smart guy, actually. I mean,
I
believe
know,
it or not, he's a very
that's why in the
very smart.
committee,
When you listen to him, you can figure that
I
out.
agree, and that's why in the committee I told them, let's get this guy in the committee, because when you because we need such brains to actually cover all these loopholes.
He was one of the umpire on that day.
Yeah, but see, now a smart guy is reading the rule book. Gababai, I'm being honest. Last year when I read the rule book, I couldn't understand it. And I finally thought, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to break my head over this. That's why I came directly to you. And after talking to you also, I still had a lot of doubts because I felt that the way it is written, it is not clear at all. My suggestion is go back and get rid of all these things and just make a simple rule. If necessary, sit and find out what the Mishka rule is and probably sit and see if there is something which you guys can agree on for the betterment of players in both leagues. But anyways, I don't want to steal Satya's thunder because we have been waiting for him to show up on the show because we didn't want to give him the free pass on the Glad Strikers game.
Okay, no free pass case. So it was a good game. Congrats to strikers Sujay and Parthiv. So they really played well. The place where we gone is like the 3-wicket fall continuously, where the second, third, and fourth, I think it's Hardeep, Jawad, and I think Shan or somebody like that. So when we lost those three, then like we were like very low there, and then we want to stabilize the inning. Then I have to come up and try my best, but it didn't work out again. So me and Umair tried to build a partnership, but it didn't work out. Um, I agree. You guys bowled very well. So you guys were using the spinners well, but still, yes, we played out. We played spinners. So it's yeah, they picked the wickets, but it's not that we didn't play them. Sujay been have like 400 or something, and also like initially he Vinayak very bowled very well, but Dinesh balls were keeping low. I don't know what that guy was doing, but that was one of the issues we had it. So no, none of the other balls, even Vinay was bouncing it, but Dinesh ball was keeping low. I don't know what was going on there. So it was difficult. That's why Dinesh had picked those three because his balls were low. It's just kidding, like how Roni does. Like it just skids and moves out. Like so that was also a little difficult. But yeah, the bowlers really bowled well, I would say, and we did not do our part. We didn't bat all the way. We didn't stay on the wicket. Uh, we didn't try to go for glory shots. We were trying to hit the twos and we got out. That's how we got out. Like last two games, I think we were trying to hit to the boundaries. We got caught like 4 or 5 boundary catches. Like, but this game is totally different. We were trying to stay and we are trying to hit those twos, but we were still getting out on the fence. Like we were not turning the ball enough, or we are just looping it high, not timing the ball enough. So
but I was thinking about the previous week show when Viju, you were talking about how the strike rates, some of the Glad's batsmen, you were critical about the strike rates, and that was something that bothered you of how you guys played your brand of cricket. And I felt this game, I think there was a little more intent, more than actually what that was required. I felt, maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like that ultra aggressive approach probably also contributed to the, yes, you weren't going for the fours and sixes, but you were trying to get runs when you were 4 or 5 down. If somebody had put their head down and just played sensibly, just ones, twos, down the ground, I think probably that would have been a better approach. And I think Umair and probably Satya, you were doing that before you lost your wicket. But I think that I felt like some of the guys, like Jeet, for example, as soon as he came in, I don't know why he was just going after the bowling. I mean, I know he plays that way most times, but he was probably just trying to whack everything out of the ground. And I felt like maybe that piece of advice or that piece of critical feedback which you had probably got into some of those guys' heads, and
no,
they were
see,
trying to
few players I cannot say anything. They are like that. Okay,
right.
few players I can speak and okay try to stay and other thing, but a couple of players like Jeet, his natural game is like that. Like
Right.
I've seen him so many times. Even he is the last wicket. We need 10 runs to win. He's going to go for the shot.
Mm.
So he's not the guy who goes stays there and try to rotate. But if he connects, it goes out. But he connects, that's the question mark. So, but I cannot speak Jeet because Jeet is that kind. I'm not giving enough opportunity for him to bat too. But even if I give opportunity, will he rotate and make a 50? It's highly doubt. I don't know. But
Mhm.
but I'm expecting other players to step up in the top of the game. Like the first 4 wickets is what really important. That's why I'm sending my top order batsmen to stay there and rotate.
Mhm.
When I'm expecting me to come by fifth over, that's not right. I am like 12th or 15th over player. I cannot be in the fifth over there standing and rotating strike, right? Like so that I hope yes, we didn't bat well, but we are trying to come back. So we are improving, but bowling ways we were better. So we
Well,
were
all I can say is last time we beat you guys went on to win the championship. So maybe the sign.
but yeah, I really agree that. But but we have to really bat well. We were batting well with other games, then we were came back strong from that. We win all the way down to the finals. So I think we are expecting other players to show up, and we want others to pitch in more, and uh, we want them to bat responsibly. Bowling wise, we are good. If we get other players like Adi and Mansab and others, our bowling will be still stronger.
Yep.
That way, we can restrict them anybody under 80 or 70. I would say that, but batting wise, where we need to improve. So we are expecting other players to be back, like Anup, Udit, Arjun. Like if all these guys turn back with Mansab and Adi, then we might be having a good batting order in the top order. So I don't have to come in the fifth over. I might be coming 15th over as usual. So that's what I'm expecting. So congrats to Parthiv and your team. Yeah, you guys won with without Kishore. That's an added advantage. I was expecting him to come and back some more twos, but
Right. Yeah, this time around, as I said, these lefties are going to be our secret sauce. I mean, we've got five lefties and proper top order, batsmen.
oh,
Kishore,
who's the other two?
there's Kishore, there's Keur, who's going to play now, in the next game.
Oh, okay.
Keur Patel. So he's going to show up. So we've got, been blessed this year with five lefties and
Okay.
top order. As I said, good batsman, good bowler, all
That's
rounder.
the advantage for you guys and Pokris. So
Yes. So yes, Pro Crease comes close because they have
they
a
have
lot.
five lefties, I think.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, they are probably the similar structure that we have.
Yes. Um,
All
yeah.
right, Viju, over to you.
Yeah, but Parthiv, I'll give a lot of credit to Sujay. Fantastic knock as a batsman. I never realized that he was this good as a batsman because I don't think I've seen him bat.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, he was playing with Alagu and company before he came to strikers. And I don't think
So I
last
told
year.
you 2 years back, indoor, this guy is really good. But
Okay,
Parthiv took
but
him.
I have not seen him. Yeah, Satya did say that he had seen a very good spinner and things like that, but never expected that his batting was this good. And I honestly am a fan of his.
Yep.
I think his batting is exceptional. Again, I think that we can overanalyze this, but I think that we negated the left arm spinner well. If you ask me, and I had a feeling that it is the off spinner that is going to cause us the problem, because that is why I asked you last week, if you remember, how come the off spinners are picking so many wickets, not just in our game, but in the other games as well? Because there was a reason I was asking that question, and that question had to do with I felt that the off spinner was taking way too many wickets in many other games too. And if you look in this game also, it is Vinay Kamble who broke our back with the ball, because 5 overs, 15 runs, 4 wickets. But when the 4 wickets are Taif, Jawad, Hardeep, and Azhar, we consider him to be a pretty good batsman. He's the guy who hit the ball for a six. You get my point, even in this low scoring game. And when he batted straight, it was a straight bat. So that is the ball game, if you ask me. When you can pick those 4 wickets,
Right.
that's probably the 4 wickets which I don't want to lose also. So I mean, of course, Shan is another wicket which we probably don't want to lose. But
Oops.
what I'm saying is that's the ball game, if you ask me, you see. And I also, personally, Parthiv, I think that's the best I've seen you keep. It reminded me of the glory days. So
Yes.
I'm giving you credit for that. So that made me wonder when I was seeing you keep as to how come these guys kicked you out of the keeping spot last year? What in the world were they thinking when they were
I think
talking
we
about
had.
it?
I think we had.
By the way,
Kishore.
you're frozen. I'm not sure
Oh,
why.
can you hear me now? It shows me.
I can hear you, but
Oh,
your video is frozen. That's all I'm saying.
oh. No, I was saying last year I think Kishore was donning the gloves. He wanted. He's a pretty decent keeper as well, and so he wanted to kind of, since I was on the, I was kind of on the move out. We wanted to kind of start nurturing, the next keeper, like the next keeper who's going to be probably for a long term. So he was the one that we were grooming.
We lost him. Well, I guess somebody in his family might have taken over the
Turned off the Wi-Fi.
the Wi-Fi. That's what he said. That's what he blamed last week on, right? That's what he said, that when he has Wi-Fi problems, it's always somebody in his family who's doing that to him. But I don't know. Let me continue on. I think Parthiv probably is going to tell Satya after this. I was going to ask, have you heard that line? तुमसा ना हो पाएगा.
तुमसे ना हो पाएगा.
तुमसे ना
ना
हो
तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. Have you heard that line? No.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
Parthiv
yeah.
is going to tell that to Satya. You guys cannot beat us. Forget it. This is beyond you. It's out of your league. It's not going to be.
Actually, that dialogue you have to tell to Satya. तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. That in the
It
movie,
is actually
Yeah.
in movie
dad.
like
The dad.
one father tells to his son like
Right.
Which
that
movie
you're
is
not
that?
able to carry my legacy.
It's
बेटा तुमसे ना हो पाएगा.
Gangs of Wasseypur, right?
Gangs of Wasseypur.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
The
Gangs
goal
of
is the
Wasseypur.
cup.
Yes, so, huh? The
goal
goal,
is
okay. The
It
goal,
is not
anyway.
something Parthiv
Anyway,
has
the
to
thing
tell
is
to
that
Satya. It is something you have to tell
Parthiv.
to
That's what
Satya.
I was trying to say. Parthiv is telling Satya after this game, "Tumsa na ho paega." All right, this is beyond you. That's exactly what I was trying to say. I don't know if you got it, but that's exactly Parthiv is telling Satya this.
But I think the context of the movie is the dad tells his son.
So that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. You have to tell to Satya, बेटा
Satya.
तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. It was
Oh,
taunted
is
to
it?
him.
Okay. I haven't seen the movie, so I just saw this line and I said, well, this line is probably the line I would have used if I was in Parthiv's shoes. So I thought I should throw that
No,
out.
I mean,
But
the context
but you know what's the line which I want to use? I'll tell you the line I want to. You know what? Because last week I said, or I think 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, when is the strikers game? This week, this time we are going to get it done. This week, this time. I've been telling this for 3 years, Gaba Bhai. 3 years I've been telling this. I'm going to get it done this week. I'm going to get it done this year. Definitely we are going to take care of strikers. That reminds me of Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq. When the Tariq arrives, the Glad's team disappears. This is what has been happening. When the Tariq arrives, guess what? The Glad's team goes on a chutti. That's exactly what's happening. And for 3 years in a row, Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq. The Tariq came, but the Glad's team never showed up. Strikers arrive and they send us on a chutti. Now I sound like a broken record. So, I think in the recent election, if you look at it, all the pollsters got it wrong. Everybody had 400 seats and I don't know, 380 seats and all kinds of things. Every one of them got it wrong. I'm sure many of the guys predicted, Glads will probably take care of strikers. That didn't happen. In fact, the way we are batting, I'm surprised that we even won 2 games, because even those 2 games we had no business winning, if you ask me. But if we play like how we played, I don't think we can go very far.
The only guy
sometimes you have.
I have this question. It may hurt to Satya, and I'm not sure which I want to answer. In the previous year, Glad might have never even have a thought about, whether I will be able to make it to the playoff or not. But Satya, are you at least have got this thought once, or maybe after losing to striker, that if we play like this, we might not be able to make it to the top 6?
No, we will make it.
Yeah, Satya is always very confident. I am on the other side. Fear drives me. Okay, so this is everybody has their different ways of approaching. All right, Parthiv, here is the honest truth. Up till after the Strikers game, that's the first time in this season I've actually reached out to players. Up till now, so this Gaba may not like this, but up till now I have been taking a back seat. I was like, I was so busy with all the speaking engagements. That's why next week I'm on a speaking engagement. That's why next week's show I'm going to be missing. But come the following week onwards, I think I'm going to take a much more this thing. But knowing the critical nature of what we are in, I've actually taken a more active role. I've sent out a few these things. Believe it or not, in fact, I picked up the phone and called a few guys and said, you guys need to show up and come and play and things like that. So, but that's the first time I'm doing that this season. I thought, let it go. But I think I also realized that sometimes we have to do what it takes. And so otherwise, we probably might end up in Division 2. So that's the fear that drives me. So you know what? I always like to be afraid of everything, because that means it keeps me sharper and allows me to think of all the other options.
I think the Division 2 teams will be fearing if you guys end up in Division 2.
No, I think if we end up in Division 2, we probably might wind the team down also. That's also the truth. So, I'm just stating the facts as I think about it.
Well, it's still very
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I have no hopes or desires to win a Division 2 championship. And I mean, considering where we are coming from now, if I started from Division 2, that's a different issue. But I'm just saying that, do we want to go and win a Division 2 championship? Probably not.
This is the way of Vijju Bhai to pump up his team or others' team. So.
Yeah, well, no, we at the end of the day, our guys also, we have not batted well. Okay, let's face the truth. That is the absolute truth. 4 games in a row, we have not batted well. I can't remember the last time we have done that. 4 games in a row, we have not batted well. Our guys know that they can bat better than that, but they need to apply themselves, right? We have not applied themselves. Let's call a spade a spade. If we haven't batted well, we haven't batted well. Sure, the opposition has bowled well, but that still doesn't account for the fact that we batted like this. This team, how we are playing right now, cannot win a championship. I'll give it to you in writing. Simple. Now, can we do something about it? We probably can, and we should try our best to do something about it.
Well,
whether we'll do it, I do not know, but that's the way it is.
Well, sorry, Gabaji, we might have woken up the the monster. So
you mean the sleeping giant? I don't know.
Sleeping giant.
I don't know. We seem to be too relaxed, So we probably have to. We probably need a kick up our posterior to get going. So we are not at that stage. I think some of the other teams are playing some very good cricket. We are not playing that good cricket.
Really, the Mishika 40 changes killing us. So.
Oh yeah, the Mishka, availability issues is really, really killing us. Simple.
So I would always force people to come and play in the May, all the 40 guys. But though Mishika started the game in May, now I don't have option. From the first game, I have to play with my the B team. I don't have my team anymore.
I honestly, Parthiv, I'll be honest. I don't know if guys like Mansab, Adi, etc. will get qualified also. We are already done with 4 or 5 games, right? You need to play 3 games to get qualified. I don't even know if those guys will even get qualified. They claim that they want to get qualified, that they intend to get qualified, but I'll believe it when it happens. I'm always a guy who likes you to prove me before I believe it.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Still very early on in the season. I would say it's still 4 games down. So still
early on, but see, next 2 weeks is umpiring for us, and then in July we have 2 umpiring. And we have 4 games in August where 40 playoffs is there. So it's not supporting anywhere for us. So that's where the problem is. So yeah, we'll see. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next segment.
Yeah, let's move on to the next segment. The next segment is we'll have to kind of hurry up a little bit. but it's going to be the masala topic of tonight, which is the Raptors ravage, as I call it. We're going to talk about how Raptors have been the one team this year that has lost the cream of its players, and it's everywhere. It's like KK has taken some of them, Legends have got some of them. I don't know if there's any others that have got also, but players.
Stars,
Sorry, fighters,
stars.
stars. Yeah, stars have taken. So they've lost players in a heap, and generally when that happens, the team tends to struggle. But Pradeep has been carrying that. At least in the first three games, Pradeep Bota has been performing lights out, and that's the reason why Raptors are still winning. But let's talk about why such a thing happens. And I'm pretty sure everybody's had some experience being in DCL, come across a lot of teams who have lost a lot of players. So in my first question to the panel is, like, why does such a thing happen? Why is there a mass exodus in a team? What could be a possible reasons?
Parthiv, you guys, I have no idea why there was a mass exodus like this in Raptors. But again, I do not know the things which went behind the scenes, because sitting 10,000 miles away, I'm not really privy to. I can only tell you what some of the things which I've heard, but some of it has to do with, I don't know, people making decisions based on friendships, or decisions based on business. I don't know, business. There is a business which is in play, and so there are, I don't know, friendships which are closer to that or something like that. I do not know what all goes on, or what really goes behind the scene. But on the face of it, I get along fine with all of them. So I do not know internal workings, right? Who knows what goes on? And then again, there is always the allure which comes from somebody else, right? Which is like, okay, if you come to our team, we can win a championship. And you've been with this team for a long time, and they have been the creme de la creme of DCL for a long time. All right.
Right.
Raptors have had some of the best talent, but it's just not translated into production. No, when you look at the other teams, whether it's Indus, Thunders, or Glads, they have converted it into 3-3 championships apiece. Whereas here you have had similar talent and you have not been able to bring in a cup. Even somebody like KRCC has been able to go out and get this high price talent and still make it work. So that, I'm sure that's something which probably goes into the...
I can basically say I've been in their roster. I've been with them probably the closest. From my insider view, I feel like their leadership has been a problem for a very long time. They have changed hands. Even in the last few years, from they had Bota, and then Kiran came, and then again they had somebody else. I think they had, what is that? Pradeep? Amar was there. Then I think Anjuru led also some part of it.
Couple of games, but
Yeah. So they've changed hands a lot of times, and they've never had very early on, when I think some of the, like the Vadnala and all those guys used to be part of the Raptors unit. That time they were a lot more stable. But after that, it hasn't been like, it's been a roller coaster. Even when I was there, yes, they got us. We had some big plans, but you could feel that there wasn't like trust inside, where you could basically build upon something. And then once you don't have a leader, like most of the successful teams I've seen around are, they don't lose players or they retain players, is because of their leader, because he is the guy who they trust and they want to be there. Even when I asked Malik, you remember when I asked Malik, one simple thing he said was, I would only go if Sandeep Gopu remains as the captain. Or sorry, the other way around. Sandeep Gopu told me that Malik was only going to be there if Sandeep was the captain. So that's the trust which most people are looking for in their team. Like GLCC had Samish, in the Thunders as Gopu. Similarly, other teams, they basically stay there because they have stable leadership. And I think that's the basic thing which I feel Raptors have been missing over so many years, is like they haven't got that one person who can keep that team together. At least that's my assessment. Gabaj,
And you might be spot on, Partha, because you know them better than anybody else, because none of us have played for them, right? So, but
So,
you have seen some internal workings. So go ahead, Gababa.
yeah, I think I agree. But one thing that you guys might have not mentioned, last year they actually improvised their team too
Mhm.
much with addition of Kaushik and Pradeep. I remember those two,
Yeah.
and I'm not. Simon was also playing there, right?
Sai
Yeah.
Manoj,
So
Anil
they
Bali.
have improvised their team a lot, and then I think Amar has took over the captainship, and then he started leading. One thing that I understand, or whatever I heard about, it may be just a gossip. In the last year playoff game, the first playoff pre-order final playoff game, first playoff game, Amar was leading, and I will tell one thing because I also lead a team. The presence of a captain and how serious one captain should be on the playoff is very important. Okay.
Mm.
Otherwise, winning a game is very tough. So, if you guys remember, Amar went to play in
Yeah. There was a
the
big
beginning. He
controversy.
went to play some F40 game and came back, considering that Red Devils may allow them, just because of their face value or the friendship that they carry. But it did not happen, and then the team lost because they were ended up with playing with the 10 people with the crunch game. And again, Amar was contributing with the ball as well, right? Because he was, at least last year, he was bowling almost all the games, right?
Mhm.
So they missed 5 overs from Amar, and then they ended up with 10 players in the playoffs. So I think that reduce the morale for the next year, because as a captain, ideally he should have. If you ask me, whatever his commitment would be, I'm no one to comment. But as a captain, I think I should be the last person to do that.
Yep.
That too on the playoff game. So maybe that's what I heard, that did not go well with couple of the people, and then I don't know. This is what at least I heard. So, and I'm not very close to any
But
one of
then,
those.
but
So it's
then
just
the other issue is like everybody's going different directions. It's not like one person is following someone into one team. Like that's another trend you generally see is one person goes and he carries 2 3 players with him. But here Amar has gone different direction, and then KK has taken Kaushik and those guys, two or three
no,
guys
but actually KK has taken the bunch of it, right?
there.
Kaushik, Pradeep, and Hitesh,
Yep, right. And I wonder how,
and Amar left, I think,
No.
and
Amar and that spinner, Ashok Bhavanam left, right?
Ashok, yes,
yeah.
Ashok
Ashok.
Star. Yeah. I think
Even
also
even
one other player.
I may be wrong. I think Ashok last year Ashok also has been added as a captain, if I'm not wrong, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
He
Ashok
was
was
he was
captain
the
too,
skipper.
yes.
He was added, then he has been
Yes.
removed. Something has happened back and forth, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
but see, my point is, Parthav, you can't have one new skipper every year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you should have some stability at the leadership. You have to give that person the opportunity to make mistakes and learn from the mistakes, and also provide guidance and things like that, and back that person so that that person's confidence also builds up. Yeah, I mean, the very first year you give it to somebody, it may not work out. Yeah, for Satya, it worked out, but he had a very strong support of me and Kishan and Taif sitting
Mhm.
and giving him a lot of advice on and off the field. I don't think it works out just like that for everybody, So
Right.
I think it's important to give that kind of a security also, right? I mean, job security.
Right. And I think apart from, as you mentioned, apart from the captain, there has to be 2 or 3 people in the core group who are basically also responsible for, keeping the team together. Like they should all.
That way, see, they are really good. Pradeep Botta, Pradeep Anjuru, Kiran, these guys really holding the team, but somewhere they are missing the core players. That's the major problem. Like they
Yeah,
cannot miss the core player. Let the player come in and go out. That's different. You cannot miss the core players in the team.
correct. Yeah, that is surprising that people who have been with them for so long have left. It's not like yeah, you're right. If there's somebody new who joined them and then left, that is understandable. That happens. But your core team, once your core group starts to leave, then it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example, Partho. It'll be very difficult to pry a player from strikers. In
Yep.
fact, I think it's not even worth trying.
Mhm.
So I'm just giving an example, but that
Right.
may not be the case in many other teams.
Right. Yeah,
So
and I think
sometimes there is also the kind of loyalty which you build between players
Mhm.
and the team management.
Yep.
But I think it comes down to credibility, Parthiv. I think you're spot on this sense that do they trust the team management that these guys are people of their word and they will honor what they say.
Yep.
I don't know.
I think, yeah, they haven't spent enough time to build that trust. I think the frequency of the way the changes happen, leadership, it's like before somebody starts to build that, there's some other leader who starts coming in. And obviously, every person who comes in and leads has their own way of how they, and believe it or not, I've been in captaincy, but there's always some things which are more like there are some players who are your more favorites than the others. So it changes based on captain. So, things again start to shift. People who used to have the captain's backing are no longer in that same situation. Somebody else has more backing. So dynamics change a lot. So, and that affects the players. All right. I know we are running short on time. So anything more to add before we go into predictions?
Nope.
All
Not
right.
from my end.
All right. Let's go to predictions. Satya, you mind sharing or do you want me to share?
Can you share, please?
Let me see. My laptop sometimes doesn't allow me to share.
Try.
Am I sharing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, I was looking up while we were talking. So, still, I think our friend Vicky, the Scorpion, is still leading with 42 points. And then amongst the analysts, we see Tanuj. I think he's the same guy, the Bulls guy, right? Tanuj?
Yeah. Tanuj is the Bulls guy. I think Tanuj has become a full-time analyst.
Analyst,
all right?
yeah,
Because I don't see him playing any games, but he's on top of the analyst pool.
I don't know how he's managing that, but
But
Parag,
let's give him credit for that.
correct.
I mean, that's not easy to be there on the top. I
Then
mean,
we have Parag number 3.
Vicky is a decent T-ball junkie, so he probably knows inside out of everything. I'm
Yeah, but all
surprised
these
I'm surprised his buddy, who's that, the left-hander. No, not Neil. I'm trying to
Raghu.
see where his name is.
Raghu.
Raghu. Where is he? I don't see him on the
Yeah, I
top.
don't see
Usually,
him.
he and
Is it
Vicky are like tied hand in hand.
Raghu?
There he is.
Is that
Yeah,
the
I
one?
think that is him. I think so.
All right.
I could be wrong. There's only how many Raghus could be there?
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty common name, so I have no idea of
Yeah, I
that.
mean in DCL, how many Raghus do you know?
Yeah,
I
DCL.
think that is the Raghu.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
he has to be still on the top, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you see, 38 and 42, there is a big difference, right?
Right. But we don't need to go that down to find him.
Yeah,
That's
because the 38 means he's tied with Partha.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think on the community side, it's Vicky still leading the roast.
All I know is I am happy to see one Chetan Tucker at 32. That means he is in no danger of posing a problem for us.
He's still a hand and leg distance away. So that's 6 points, a pretty big lead. Between us,
But King Koduru is the person I miss at the top. I mean, I
where
think
is he? He's nowhere to be
probably,
seen.
he's at 34. He's below me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
He was above me at one stage, but my feeling is he probably missed 1 week, is what I'm guessing.
1 week.
Oh, okay.
That's probably what happened.
Okay.
Our great KK is at 37.
But
that's pretty good.
If he has missed 1 week, 1 week we have 15 to 16 games, right? How come only he lost with 8 points? I don't think he has missed.
But at that time when he was leading by, like, he was tied with Vicky, right?
Yeah, so he's still
and then I don't
8
know.
point behind, right?
He's missed the whole week, unless he's missed that week, which was the rained out week, which we had only 7 to 8 games.
But I think that week he was on the top, I think, those weeks. So only he can confirm. Because there are 15, 16 games and we are 60-70% accuracy we are actually following. So, okay. I don't think he missed anything.
Yeah, our friend Imti is at 38. So that means that means
4 is a bad week for him.
What is
week
that?
4 was a bad week for him. Like
for Imti, is it?
No, for King Koduru. He got only 5 in week 3 and 5 in week 4.
So you're saying he didn't miss any week then?
Yeah, that's what I think. Missing means Sanjay has missed a week. Where is he now?
Yeah,
Who,
some of
Sanjay?
these guys,
Sanjay, I think, is gone, disappeared.
some of
Yeah,
these guys,
because
yeah,
he
some of these guys have totally missed out on.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think up to 30 points they might have not missed anything. I think beyond that probably something they might have missed.
Hmm. All
Okay.
right. All right. So, in terms of the overall lead, it's still Vicky leading with 42. In terms, in analysts, it's me with 38. So let's go to our predictions for this week.
I see that Neil is also at 39.
Yeah, two Pokris
So
guys
all
are,
the pokery, all these pokeries guys, they are like
and it
they are
helps that
super
unbeaten
smart. They are
too. So we're scoring off
no
the.
no, they are very, very smart in all this DCL predictions and all
I
that.
think
You
they have
know,
a separate group for this.
I think if the whole league about winning a championship was a prediction race, pokeries would be untouchable.
Well, they're very much due for a championship. So let's see. This year, it might be this year. They've started well, 3 out of 3. All right,
All
let's
right,
go to this week's predictions. Satya, I know you had sent me or sent the group. Where is that?
Can you still go back to the website and we see how is the prediction on the pie chart?
Oh
yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's true. Meanwhile, if somebody can bring up that that screenshot of our predictions, I guess.
Mm. All right. It's coming up.
You sharing the
So,
same.
Parthu, how come you had Wi-Fi issues again?
Oh my God! Don't ask me. I don't know why it happens only when we do it. Look, see, it's crashing. I don't know. I mean, I've been believe me, I've been working remote for 3 years. Never happens. It's some I don't know, for some reason this happens during this time of the day or this time of the. All right. Somebody else needs to share. My video is not loading up.
Wait.
But now Satya is sharing. All right.
Can you see?
Yes.
Hawks versus KRCC. Yeah.
Hawks. Wow. 95. That one vote must be Naresh Arkat. Pokris, MCC Miles, heavy favorites. Pokris. All right. Canton Hurricanes and Fighters again. One sided. Glads, Detroit Titans. Oh my God. That is surprising, Kabaji. I think those two votes are
Yeah.
wrong.
That's surprising to me also.
Even surprising to me also. Why only 10%?
Those
10%
2%
is
are
because
sitting there.
those two votes are ours. I think I have predicted and it's you.
Oh,
Oh,
then you.
Parthu, you have picked Titans, is it?
I have picked Titans, yes.
Okay. It's a smart pick, actually. Oh,
Hitman.
GLCC, despite the pasting, has got 100% vote.
GLCC is
I wonder.
who are they playing?
I don't know. We'll find out.
They're playing Troy
Oh,
Hawks.
really?
It's
Oh,
Toy
Troy
Hawks.
Hawks. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's one-sided. Hitman, Dynamites.
Hitman Dynamites. All right.
Dynamites still got
Hitman,
a couple
heavy
of votes.
favorite.
So
Those are all
Dynamite's got 15.
those are
All
all
from
Dynamite.
Vijeshan.
Those are all
Dynamite
Dynamite
votes.
people voting.
Indus Thunders is getting 100% of the vote.
100%. Punjab Scorpion or Lions.
Raptors.
Punjab.
Thunders Raptors.
Thunders Raptors. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Thunders Raptors and 100% vote for Thunders?
My God.
Wow, that is real.
surprising.
That is real respect, Partha. That's what is called real respect, right?
Well, that
I mean,
can
if
be
you get
that can
100%.
work. That can actually work the opposite way. It might be the motivation with Bhutan needs for another half century. Who knows? He's on fire
Yeah.
so far.
Well, but then Thunders will say that we get rid of Botta and then the game is ours.
That's true too. I mean, to be honest, on paper, yes. I mean, yes, it's going to be a good match, but I think most people will go with Thunders. So, not surprised.
Okay.
Racha Riders,
Wow.
Dark Horses. Okay, Racha Riders getting some respect. Punjab Scorpions and SLCC Guardians. Okay, that is a game to watch out. I think it's even Stevens 40.
Yeah, that for me, that's a close game, actually. That can be
Yeah.
50-50 game.
MI Rangers and Royal Challengers. That's also quite close, 60-40. Rebels, KCC. I think KCC heavy favorites. Marvels, Motor City. Okay, expected. Gujarat Warriors, FCC Agni. I know one of us has picked FCC Agni. That would be interesting to see who
Me.
I'd seen.
I think it is Gaba who picked
Me.
So
FCC.
last week I picked and
Oh, is
lost.
it?
So this
Oh, okay.
time,
Oh,
Oh,
Satya.
last week you picked Agni, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phantoms and local boys. Okay, I'm sure there's Viju's vote there for Phantoms.
I don't know if I've picked Phantoms. I think I picked local boys. I think I picked Phantoms 2-3 times around, and the Phantom doesn't fire his gun, and I get killed.
Spartans, Vikings. Okay, Spartans favorites there. Now that is going to be another one which I think might go either way because
Yeah.
Vikings is a very new team. Who knows?
I think this one and another Division 2 game, actually, I found it difficult to predict.
Yeah, it can go either way.
Another one, I think something was there and about. Am I Ranger versus
SLCC Guardians.
Am I Rangers versus Royal one?
Mm.
Guardians and Scorpions too.
Yes, Guardian Scorpions is also another 50-50 kind of.
Now, what has Scorpions done for Scorpions to get 60% of the votes? I mean,
I guess
the
Yeah.
Shivam factor, 5 wicket,
Human
5 wicket all from
factor, I
Shivam.
guess. I think it's Punjab with Punjab's team. I think it's any day they can show up and then they can kill you. It's like that. So I always feel like when I'm voting for Punjab, I always think about they have some of the guys who can come and really thrash on a day. I remember, I mean, before this they were, what was the team name? Punjab. There was one team, but it was Punjab Lions, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had some big scores posted in some of the big games, and then they lost also very miserably in some of the games. So any day, I think they can show up and score that 130, 140
Even
plus.
I predicted Punjab Scorpion just because the fact any one person can change the dynamic of the game.
Yeah,
They are hard swinger, couple of players. So
yeah. Cool. All right. Let's see our predictions. Where do we differ from each other? All right. So KRCC Hawks, KRCC firm favorites, Pokris Miles, Pokris heavy favorites, Fighters Hurricanes, Fighters 5-0, Glads Titans. It's 3-2. Obviously, I think that there's a lot of bias in there. I'm being the neutral. I think based on my experience last weekend, I'm giving Gabaji the edge. I think they have the bowling attack that can give Glads
Chetan
trouble.
is back on our team, so we'll win it.
Who?
Chetan.
Chetan last week predicted strikers.
Yes.
See, Parthiv, when you are having supporters and friends like Chetan, why do you need an enemy? You please tell me that. Okay? When you have a friend like Chetan on your side, you don't need an enemy, my friend.
Well, he had to catch up, so he took a calculated risk and he got a point. All right, let's go with Dynamites.
I had to give him that shot, when I had the opportunity.
Dynamites, Hitman go as favorites. Dynamites, no
So
love.
no love for my friend Vijay Shanmugam, is it?
The way they've been playing, I will be surprised if there is any.
Yeah, but Hitman have some good players. Let me tell you that.
So 3 Bangladeshi show up, Dynamites nowhere will be there.
Yeah. Thunders, Raptors, again, surprising, but even our community predicted Thunders all the way. So it's 5-0 for us.
Well, if the community was fully on Thunders, it was not even 1% of the votes. That's
Punjab
was
Lions and Stallions. It's Punjab Lions. So we are in line with the community. Punjab and SLCC.
Yeah, so Guardian Scorpions. Okay, so this is where there is a 3-2 split.
3-2 split, yes.
I think
Parthiv and me are on Guardian's side, is it?
Yeah, okay. Gababai and Satya are on the Scorpion side. All right, Racha Riders. Yes, everybody's on Racha Riders bandwagon. Challengers and MI Rangers. Okay, that's another split. Wow, 3-2.
I predicted Challengers.
Chetan and Gabaji have predicted Challengers. Interesting. What is Cricket Club?
Rebels.
Oh.
RC Rebels.
Okay. Selected.
Parthiv only selected Rebels.
How did I select? I mean, that's a radio button, right? How does that get?
No, he probably typed it as Cricket Club.
No, you can't type it.
No. See, it's a rap.
It's
Yeah,
wrapped
that I
around.
know. Okay. That's why
Yeah.
it's just okay. It's just truncated it.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know how I typed it.
Okay.
Oh
Motor
wow.
City Marvels. Motor City.
Motor City. Then Warriors, Agni. Yes, as I said, there was one guy who predicted Agni. That's Satya. Satya has
Yeah.
predicted Agni. Local boys, okay, we're still on the local boys bandwagon, even though they have been miserable. But we still feel like they can. Srinivas will show up one day and get the
Yeah, and it's the
win.
Viking
If you say
Spartans
Bantam is
surprising.
not firing, so
I mean, he's the only guy
Yeah.
firing. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. And the problem is all the firing is landing on me, and I'm getting fired. So Phantoms cost me a few picks this year.
But you're
So
not too
sometimes
far.
you
We're
buy,
only a
yeah,
point away from each other.
yeah, 2 points away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I had not picked Phantoms, I probably could have caught up Gababai. But anyway,
Last time my Spartans pick was a horrible one. I don't know how I ended up. Maybe just in the hurry of getting
but there you pick Spartans again.
this one is a conscious choice. Spartans Vikings. I think Vikings is a new team. I feel like Spartans at least
no,
have lit.
Vikings is the cheetahs. Kings love
Oh man, see, I get confused with that. It didn't click me that they're the cheetahs of before. Anyways,
So basically, what all the Glads guys are picking Vikings, is it?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Gabaji,
let's
even you
find
didn't
out.
realize?
No, I think I just picked up intentionally. Like I think one point that I wanted to make it difference, right? So I thought that would be the game, make or break.
All right.
And but I did not know you are also on the same boat.
Well, that is something we'll see.
But
But
if
yeah,
you see, right,
we've got
lot
quite a
of
few. We've got
lot of prediction. We both do almost the similar line. If you
similar
see.
ones. Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like he and I always go after the same player.
Well, we must be
If
thinking
we can't,
something like.
if we are
So
picking
either
one
we'll
player.
have more leads next week or Vijay will take over.
Yeah.
only two were different, and then you and me were in two. Like, so it's all equal. Like, it depends.
All right. I know we are past time, but it was great discussing, especially some of the topics around Glad's strikers game and then Masala topic. That was an interesting one as well. So
Also,
again,
to hear back from some of the audience, that was a good thing too.
yes,
Sometimes we do all these things and you wonder whether we are making any difference or whether it
right.
really matters, so kind of
No,
a
there
thing.
are a
So
lot of people listening to us because I keep also getting a couple of, like, as soon as I say something wrong, I get a WhatsApp message. Like we were talking about Raghu, and immediately Vicky messaged me saying, "Yes, that's the right Raghu." So
okay.
people are listening, and people do message
Vignesh,
us.
Vignesh will be always listening. We have to
Yes.
put him like that,
I
but he
asked
won't
him.
come.
I asked Vignesh to come on the show, but his availability is a problem. Otherwise, he's a good addition as well.
Partha, write this down. If he comes on the show, he'll get fired from Pokeries. Okay. So I am challenging you. But Vignesh doesn't have the guts to come up on the show. Let me tell you this, Partha. I'll give it to you in writing. Okay. Vignesh doesn't have the guts to come on the show because he
The
might get
season
fired from
started
Pokeries. Ranjit
after
might fire him.
After this, even if you ask him, he won't come. He'll be
He
playing all.
won't
You don't have option to catch him.
But here is the thing: we enjoy, we have fun. I mean, we don't take anything too seriously or anything like that. But I feel people need to understand that. Yeah, it's all said in fun. It's
Yeah,
no big
and I
deal.
think maybe I was thinking maybe we can talk offline as well. Maybe instead of because maybe some people are scared about the time commitment. So maybe if we can keep it like a rotating analyst kind of a spot where we can just have somebody who, we can have 2 or 3 people just come and
We'll put
Maybe
the Zoom
we
link in
can
the
get
group.
we
Parthiv,
Anybody
you
can
should be
join.
happy. No, Parthiv, you should be happy Vicky is not coming because he will take the $350.
Oh yeah, that's
He
true.
gone. Okay. You and I have no chance to the $350. At least now he's stuck with the $100 group. Okay. If he was on this, he would have been taking the 350 and the 100. Okay. So think of it a little bit financially also. Sometimes
Yes.
we have to wisen up. Okay. We have to say, Vicky, you're doing good.
But
Yeah, but
what we can do, what Parthiba was suggesting, right? We can get the leaderboard top
oh.
person from the leaderboard on the next show, like something like that.
If they don't come, no $100.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I just got another message from Sandeep. We didn't cover the June 9th games for the prediction, did we?
It was there in the last week. We can
So it
reiterate
was in the
if you
previous.
want.
I'm not putting it on the prediction again. So
Okay.
Oh, we already finished
rained out
predicting,
games, right?
We
Yeah,
already
the
this
prediction
is
was
the
done.
washed out. This is
Yeah.
the washed out games you're talking about, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we covered that in that week's show, right? Prediction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We covered. Okay.
And we are not allowing people to change that prediction, right,
Yes.
Satya?
I'm not allowing people to change it.
Yeah.
I hope I
Yeah,
predict.
I mean, I don't know what those our predictions were, but whatever I'm saying is that I think those predictions are all locked in.
Yeah, I can show our prediction.
By the way, did Mr. KK do any predictions this week, or do I have to get a special notice from him?
I don't know. I think
Because
he did it.
talk about a guy who waits till the last possible minute. KK.
Okay.
I hope he's
But
he's
last
not the
year we
same in the
used to
committee.
remind him, right? Every time, please do the.
No. In
Yeah,
the
because
committee-
last year we were personal secretaries, personal assistant number 1, personal assistant number 2.
No. In the committees, he's pretty punctual and everything. Like he takes on a lot of things, so he's pretty on the spot. Here, I think he just keeps forgetting.
Oh my God! I think Vijay Shanmugam might have a heart attack if he heard that.
He didn't put again still, but he has time. So
Okay.
So this week it will be for till Saturday morning, right? That's what we.
I still kept it Friday night.
Okay.
You guys want Saturday morning? Like what?
You can change it.
If the person does not do by Friday,
No,
going
not
to do
not
by
we can
Saturday
change
morning.
it. Those the other guys can change theirs.
No,
Oh.
but I think the Google form goes off, right? So they cannot change it
Yes.
after midnight of
It's
Friday.
automatic. It locks itself.
Hmm.
Okay,
Maybe
that makes sense.
All right.
Anyway.
All right.
All
Time
right,
to go,
guys.
guys. It was a great.
All right, guys.
show.
I'm off next week. You guys have fun.
Right.
Hopefully, Glads will win. And and even if Glads doesn't win, sorry, Gababai, I'm not going to be on the show for you to rub it on my face or throw egg on my face. You missed that opportunity. I told this long time ago that this week is going to be off for me. So you'll have to put the egg on Satya's face, but I hope Satya will be able to put some egg on your face. All right.
All right.
But anyway, it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. All right.
All right,
Sounds
see you
good.
guys.
Take care, guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, bye.